I was just in Mexico. Yeah, I ate ants. Yeah, the insects, not lady uncles. It was at a restaurant. I wasn't just bored at a picnic. And it was a prefix menu, like you don't order. They were just bringing us tacos. First course was chicken tacos. It's a crowd pleaser. Second course, they're like, these are ant tacos. I'm like, what is happening right now? Before the meal, they asked us if we had any allergies or food restrictions, but I didn't know how far back I had to take that. They're like, these are ants. I'm like, I also don't eat loose nickels or urinal cakes. Just to be crystal clear, now that I see what you're capable of. And if you guys were me and my wife, the chef was standing right there. So we felt like we had to eat them, you know? We didn't want to be ugly Americans. So I got a mouthful of bugs. I'm pretending it's not ants, but the chef wouldn't let us forget that it was ants. He kept telling us, he was like, they're big and juicy, and we cut off their heads in the rain. And I'm like, ha ha, say less. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be culturally insensitive, but everybody knows eating ants is weird. You know how I know? The whole planet agrees to call one of our animals the anteater. Have you seen that thing? It's like a low-to-the-ground hairy elephant. That's probably what we were gonna call it. Then someone was like, hold up. Check out what this freaky is eating. You know what I mean? Its diet is the headlining oddity. And it was an ant and clam taco. That's correct. That's the correct response. Ant and clam. I've never eaten something and looked for refuge in the flavor of clam. Got a mouthful of carpenters. I'm like, look for the clam! Clam will save us from this zinky nightmare. Clam, the condom of the ocean. King Neptune's chewy prophylactic. I'm like, it's our only hope! Same night, my first night in Mexico, I got stung by a scorpion. Yeah, big bug day. It was in my bed. Isn't that freaky? It was in the bed. Yeah, it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. It just felt scratchy. I was asleep. I remember thinking, what's the thread count of these sheets? I whip open the covers. I get my flashlight out. There's a dead scorpion in the bed. Yeah, got him. That's a weird feeling. Coursing with scorpion venom. I'm like, I gotta wake up Val. Gotta wake up my wife, because I don't know if I'm gonna be around. That's a weird consideration when you're like, I'm about to be playing the part of the body. So let's get someone else in this narrative. So I use my big boy voice. I didn't know I had a big boy voice. I found it in a crisis. I talked to my wife real sweet. That morning I was like, Valerie, I've been attacked. She's like, ah. She woke up straight away. I went out on the balcony. It got me 4 times on the ankle. Yeah, good empathy. So I elevated it. That was my idea. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know if that was helping or just draining the poison straight to my corazon. And my wife is a really sweet, non-confrontational person. Even in an emergency, it turns out. Because I'm out there elevating it. I can hear her on the phone with the front desk. I'm not making this up. She's like, hi, buenos dias, buenos dias. Yes, it is a beautiful day here in Mexico. Oh, no, you go. You go. Okay, I'll go. One of us is dying. It was like... They sent a doctor right away. I was like, how often does this happen? He came out onto the balcony. He didn't speak any English. I speak a little bit of Spanish. I'm not making this up. I go, ¿Cuántos minutos yo tengo? ¿Cuántos minutos para yo? ¿Es hora el tiempo para adiós siempre? ¿El grande sueño para mí? He didn't speak any English. He had a real thick accent. I'm not going to do his accent. Nice try. You're not taking me down for a questionable voice. But you know what he sounded like. I'll tell you what he said. You can add it up here. You can't get canceled up here. And you know what he sounded like, you racist. You know just what he sounded. He goes, in 24, I'm kind of doing it. I don't know why. He goes, in 24 hours, you will be dead. That's what he said. Stay thirsty, my friends. That's what he said. And they got in their golf cart, they sailed off. They said they had to get the anti-venom shot. I was like, you could have brought it. We told you what happened. You could have brought it. And I was laying there, and I was really worried I was gonna die. But I was equally worried that I'm a comedian, and I grew up in the 90s playing video games, and I'm a silly, silly fun boy. So I knew, yeah. So I knew there was a real risk that I'd have like a dumb death, like a stupid death. Like I'd be fading out and I'd just look at my wife and be like, Scorpion wins. You know what I mean? Like a dumb joke. As I'm passing away, just like, fatality. It is a fatality. And I die. I can't have my last meal be ants.
I'm 11, I'm 6 foot, you know. And I'm here to let you guys know, as a tall, that none of you are people. I am your God. Yes. I'll help you with your overhead luggage, you little scamp. Oh, no. Just kidding. And it makes no sense to be tall, you know, in this century. It's completely useless. Tall people, we die earlier. That's true. We do die earlier. And also, I'm left-handed. We also die earlier. Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say is this is my last show. Yeah. Thank you. I'll be dead soon. And you short kings can get your little raccoon hands all over my girlfriend, you know? Yeah. Good with clasps, you know? I love how every time I tell that joke, there's always someone who's left-handed who's like, ah. I had so many dreams. I started losing my hair, a few years ago, 10 years ago actually, and I started taking those hair pills, and but it was very scary. You know, I was single back then, and I was like, I went to the doctor. I was like, because I was losing my hair, and I don't know what God or whoever was thinking when they designed my body, It's like, I want Graham to be okay, good looking until he's about 35, and then I would like hairs to slowly start falling out the top of his head. I would like hairs to slowly start falling out the very top of his head, and then I would like new hairs to start growing out of his shoulder blades. Yes! Women are gonna love this switcheroo. Oh, yeah. They like that, I was like scared, I was like, I still feel young, So I went to the doctor and I was like, oh, how am I losing my hair and getting hairier? What? Why? And then this is what he said. He said, Graham, men who lose their hair have an elevated level of testosterone. Too much, That's why bald guys have hairier bodies. That's why you have a stronger jawline. That's probably why you have a higher libido. And that's probably also why I'm treating you for chlamydia right now. So quit asking so many questions.
I waited a long time before I got married. I waited a whole other marriage before I got married. I did. So get this, and then I gotta go. I met my wife at a costume party one Halloween. She came as a Slinky. That was her costume. I thought that's pretty clever. I'd like to talk to her for a little bit. But I remember the first time I saw her, oh my God, she was coming down the stairs. Wow. She's amazing. She's taking 2 at a time. She's really good. Had she not gotten stuck on the bottom step, I never would have talked to her. But you know what? It worked out. And we talked for like an hour. And finally got a little courage. I said, hey, you want to go upstairs? She goes, I can't. I'm a Slinky. I can't. But do you know, this is true, she went home that night and she immediately called her mother. She said, Mom, I just met the man I'm going to marry. And I went home and I told my wife, I said, hon, I just met the woman I'm leaving you for. But no, it's fantastic. And I'm married up this time and I'm very comfortable in this position. My wife's family actually comes from old crypto. But it is challenging. Like my wife and I, we cannot agree on a comfortable temperature in the bedroom at night. Is that typical for couples? I think so. Like, she likes it 75, 76 degrees, like sauna hot. And I like it 60 degrees, normal. Yeah? And there's a battle all night. She gets up, she turns it to 78 or whatever. I turn it down to 60, up to 78, down to 60. It's like we're exhausted the next day. We're not getting any sleep. So guess what? She goes out and she replaces that thermostat with a Celsius thermostat. I can't convert the two. I don't know if it's hot in the room now or cold in the room. How am I supposed to know? So I go out the next day and I exchange our bathroom scale for a kilo scale. She thinks she weighs 50 pounds. And I think it's 42 degrees in the room, so everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. I'm not a good apologist. I go to the grocery store. I'm supposed to pick up some garlic bread as well. I forgot the garlic bread. And I thought, well, I'm not going back. You know, she knows what it tastes like. Well, that was the wrong thought process right there. So I had to apologize. And I'm working on it. But most guys, they don't know how to apologize because, you know, they're just not sensitive enough to know the exact words to use to validate somebody's feelings. Like, I was the worst. Here's how my apology would start. Now you listen to me. There's nowhere to go after that. You know, you got to find an apology for your apology. So get this. I'm walking by my bedroom, our primary bedroom, and I notice my wife sitting on the side of the bed, and she's sobbing uncontrollably. I said, what's the matter, buddy? What's her She said, I just been thinking, I'm 28 now. That's not true. That's not true. It's kind of true, but not that true. I told her one time, we have this hall pass agreement. You know what that is? We could be with one other person for one night, no questions asked. But I realize you have to update your selection. You can't write somebody's name down on a piece of paper, stick it in the drawer, and then pull it out 10 years later, think you're going to collect on it, because things change. I looked at mine, Mary Tyler Moore. My wife's Bruce Jenner.
There are truly so many awful things about having a child, but there are. But one of the worst is I now have to engage in small talk and chit chat that I never would ever give the time of day to, you know? Like, and you have to do it all the time. And like before I had a kid, you know, if I was hanging out at the playground and... No, but if I was at the park or something and before I had a kid and then some guy would, you know, referencing a bunch of noisy kids, some guy would be, like, engage me and go like, oh, man, boy, they're a handful, huh? Like, before I had a kid, my response would be, what the f-? And I'd walk away and I'd be correct to do so. That'd be the right thing to do. But now I have to engage with that person because, you know, that's a potential play date. And you have to have as many potential play dates in your back pocket as possible because it is inevitable that at some point my wife will be out of town and I will wake up still, not even hungover, just drunk. I'll be drunk. I will, clinically be drunk. And I'm going to have to put that kid somewhere for an hour just to take a and so I have to talk to that person now, and I have to, be nice and all that, and the thing is, I live in Brooklyn, all right? So there's just tons of younger hipster parents, tons, and I can't stand them, and I didn't like them when I was part of that scene, and I really don't like it. So I'll be at the playground, with my daughter, and this guy will roll up, and this guy, they're like the kind of guy who's got the those bright orange like longshoreman hat, knit woolly hats, but then they roll it all the way up. You know what I mean? Like they roll it that's too rolled up. It's not even over your ears. It's not doing the one single thing a hat is made for. You're not, and you're bald, and so now it's just like a pasty for your head. I don't understand. And so like a guy with that hat, and then one of those 23 skidoo mustaches, and like a full sleeve of retro toasters or some shit like that, and then a skirt and culottes and a big whetstone, an oily, glistening whetstone that's like dangling off a sheath, right? This thing, and you're like, what? Who, when, how, why, Oh, the whetstone, oh, yes. Oh, yes, well, I just got back from crafting. Me and the gang get together and we'll craft, and I'm making, I make bespoke, handcrafted, artisanal, farm-to-table marbles. And well, here's the thing. So the gang and I will get together and we'll craft, and we'll make knives from Mumbly Peg and jacks and we get to, because I think we've lost the connection, the joy that we had as youth. I think we've gotten so cynical in the last 4 or 5 years, with COVID and he who shall not be named. And so we play the games of our youth. Well, not our youth, but the youth of our fathers' games, which are, and it's harkened back to a simpler, innocent time. And so that's, and right now I'm working on an ethically sourced paddle ball that I think is going to be. Anyway, that will come up to me, and I'll be at the playground with my daughter, and I'll be minding my own business, and that guy will come up going, oh, man, boy, they're a handful, huh? Yeah. Can be. Yeah. Which one's yours? The girl on the monkey bars there. Oh, she's playing with my boy. That's my boy. That's Copernicus. Yeah, good kid. That kid is something else, man, let me tell you. That kid is 6 going on 30, you know what I mean? No, I don't. How? In what way? Name one way. Does he have heart disease? I mean...
I'll tell you the story. There's a gas station near my house, has a little handwritten sign on one of the pumps. It says, please, replace nozzle to pump before driving away with it. Thanks! And years ago, I took a photograph of this and I posted it to Instagram, and me and a bunch of strangers made fun of all these human trash piles who were just driving away with the pump still in their goddamn car. And so when I drove away with the pump in my car about a year ago, I was bashful. Have you ever made fun of yourself from the past with a bunch of strangers? Because I have. And the thing is, I didn't even know I did it. I had no idea. Yeah, I hopped in the car, blasted my meditation app, and just took off, ripped it right out of the pump, had no idea, and then immediately pulled an illegal 4-lane U-turn. And all of the oncoming traffic was like, bam, 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 bam. And I was like, oh, you fucking church Nancy's. It's a U-turn. So I gave him all the middle finger. Meanwhile, spewing gasoline across the street. And then I made a right, and I got on like a big highway, started going very fast. And mind you, I just have a tail, like dragging behind me, like. And then this big white pickup truck pulls up next to me, and he's honking at me, and I was like, what? It's a U-turn! And he's like, roll your window down. And I was like, what? And he's like, you drove away with the pump in your car. And I was like, oh, you drove away with the pump in your... Oh, no! So I did. So I did. And then I was very, very, very embarrassed. And I'm on the highway. I didn't know what to do. So then I just like pulled over to the side of the road, and then he pulled over too. And then like I got out of my car, and then he got out of his car too. I was like deeply embarrassed. You know, it's essentially like my pants, and then he like followed me into the bathroom like, hey man, did you shit your pants? Hey, how much shit is in your pants? Hey, why do you think you shit your pants earlier? And I was just like, what do you want? And he's like, do you need help? And I realized, like, I had a choice to make here, you know? I could act the way men have acted for centuries. I could act like a wounded animal and lash out at this man to protect myself. Or I could be a better man. I could admit my vulnerabilities and say, yes, I screwed up and I do need help. And so that man said, hey, can I help you? And I said to him, no! And then he got mad and got in his car and drove away. And then I was left alone with my shame. And I like walked over to the back of my car. I pulled out the gas pump and I was like, oh, there's definitely still a lot of gas in here, you know? It's like I can't put it in my car. Is it fumes and stuff? I'm picking up my daughter. What would be very useful right now is a pickup truck, but I just told that guy to go f*** himself. So then I just left my car on the side of the road and then walked with it in my arms all the way back along the highway, down the exit ramp, back to the gas station, where both managers were waiting for me outside. And I just kind of laid it at their feet like a big dead snake. And I was like, well, what do we do now? Turns out it costs $350, which is honestly a lot less than I expected. I mean, you don't get to keep it, but also they're like designed to just pop right off. So the thing is like, just do it. It doesn't matter. Just do it. Also, if you turn it into a comedy bit, it kind of pays for itself.
I had the most, like, assumption-shattering experience when we were driving, going through Nebraska, and Rose had a blowout. And it was like a blowout, like someone put 5 M80s in a towel. Like it just sounded muffled, like in the old World War II movie where the guy's like, grenade, lands on it, like it was like that. It was insane how loud it was, and I look back and she's like, oh, the evil is loose. Like her face looked so relaxed and happy. And it was my turn. Like my wife's like, your turn. And the stench filled the car like, oh God. We pull over And I take her out, and I look, and the closest business is a place called Thunder Road, which is a biker bar / family restaurant. That's actually a thing. Just motorcycles, hogs, as far as the eye can see. Every third guy has a leather cut, a vest on with his club on the back, and he's MC. And we were going into the restaurant, me and Rose, and we passed the restaurant. I'm like, where's the restroom? And of course they're like, it's in the bar. Of course it is. Like, I'm changing a baby. Did I stutter? I said the bar. And so we went through the bar, and there were as many kids in there as there were in the family restaurant. And I get into the men's room, and I make my assumption, my first assumption, which was, no way they got a changing table in here. Nah, it's gonna be my wife's turn. No way. Wrong. Thunder Road woke as f. Like, their changing table, you could have a horse give birth sideways on that thing. Just go, bah, like, oh my God, I could sleep on this in the fetal position. This is incredible. Put my diaper bag here, some snacks, couple beers, a baby in the middle. This is incredible. I'm sure that's why it was designed that way, you know. And I'm changing her, and she's cleaned up, and I'm about to put the fresh diaper on, and a biker passes me who looks straight out of whatever the Norse god Hel is. Like, wherever the evil Vikings go. Like, he had this giant, like, rivulet-covered beard and this grease-heavy... Like, he had that... If Jake Gyllenhaal grew his hair out long, that looks like a helmet, right? Like, he had the tree line, but just grease and evil just melded in there. His eyes were somehow not brown or blue, but red. Like red pupils somehow. Not high, like just eyes of fire. And a leather cut that he looked like he was born in and grew into. Like it was part of his musculature. Buck knife. And he's walking out and he stops and he looks right at Rose's vagina. Pause for laughter. Nothing? That usually kills. Yeah, real awkward. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, mentally, I'm like, go away. Like, I would ordinarily never take you on, but I will pull this hairdryer out of the wall. Like, I've done it before. The little, right? You just put your foot up, yank. They're tiny screws. I've done it when I was in Chicago. And then hit him in the face, sit on him, put it through his head, grab my baby with bloody hands, run around to my California plated electric vehicle, and get chain whipped to death by the rest of the motorcyclists, I'm sure. That's my brilliant plan, everybody. So I'm sitting there worried, and then he goes, yeah, that's a rash. What? He's like, I don't want to make things weird. Like, we're so there. You made it weird 50 seconds ago when you were staring. He's like, I don't want to make it weird, but I got 4 of those, and that's a rash. I got 4 of those? You mean kids? Those things? Yeah, 2 I won in a card game, 1 I got at a garage sale. 1 me and my old lady made natural, and I've seen my share of a diaper rash, brother. That's a rash. And then he blew my mind completely when he unsnaps his blood-caked leather vest and is like, you got the cream? And I pull out the same tube of diaper cream, and I'm like, got it right here, brother. And he's like, right on, brother. Stay strapped. And he walks out. Oh, my God. Oh. I still wake up in the middle of the night to this day and go, he had the cream. And I go back to sleep. Peacefully. Right next to his buck knife. Amazing. What's your gang? Hell's Dads? Who are you guys? It's magnificent. Oh.
My name's Alex. I'm from Boston. Woo. I'm from Boston. I go home every year for Thanksgiving. Really looking forward to it this year. Last year was weird because last Thanksgiving I came out to my family. I'm not gay. I just thought it would be hilarious. I have an uncle who doesn't like gay people, and because of that, I've actually come out of the closet on Thanksgiving every Thanksgiving for the last 4 years. And they say that coming out is like the hardest thing that a young person can do, and it is, but it gets easier every single year. Here's how I do it. I stand up with a glass of water and a knife, like I'm giving a toast at a wedding. And I go, excuse me, everyone. I have an announcement to make. And then my uncle goes, oh, for Christ's sake again! And I release the doves. I do my musical number. I throw the glitter. It's part of the meal now. Do you know what I mean? It's part of Thanksgiving. It's part of the ritual of Thanksgiving. It's part of the people expect it. Like the turkey comes out, the potatoes come out, I come out. And I thought about not doing it this year because my grandfather came to Thanksgiving for the first time in a decade. And no one has told him about my little joke because he's 88 and he doesn't do surprises. Do you know how some older folks just do not do surprise? Like, my grandfather hates surprises. It's not even like an Oprah thing. He's always had surprises. And it goes back to, like, the first time he was surprised. He was 16, and he was asleep on this boat in Pearl Harbor. And since then... he doesn't like surprises or sushi, and we leave him alone. And I thought about not doing it, but as soon as it was announced on the family WhatsApp that he was coming, all of my cousins texted like, are you gonna do it this year? And I'm like, you bet your butt I'm gonna do it this year. And my brother was like, backup dancers? I was like, not this year. Just me. If you want to know how it went down, here's how it went down. We're all sat around the table. It's me, my family, my grandfather, and my best friend from college, Michael. He had nowhere to go this year for Thanksgiving, so I invited him. And as I stand up with a glass of water and the knife, I realize he has no idea what's about to happen. And the look on his face is pure confusion. But I'm on a mission, so I'm like, excuse me, everyone. Excuse me, everyone. My uncle's head drops. Excuse me, everyone. I have an announcement. Michael and I have an announcement to make. And everyone looks at my grandfather. Everyone, except for Michael, who's excused himself to make a phone call real quick. Everyone looks at my grandfather, and my grandfather crosses his arms, and he looks around the table, and real loud, he just goes, I've known since he was 9 years old.
My whole life growing up poor, rural Tennessee, whenever I heard others talk about white people, in my head that was always like Connecticut, yacht club, like Dill. Is that Dill? Like in white people, right? Like white people. And I didn't know what I was, but I knew I wasn't the same thing as them. And it was very confusing to me as a young man. Now that I'm an adult, it couldn't be more clear. I'm not white, I'm white trash, right? And it's like, and it is different. It is different. There's a whole list of differences. Like white people got a trust fund, white trash people got trust issues. It's like, white people got a sister who's secretly a lesbian. White trash people got a sister who's secretly their mama. White people play golf with their boss on the weekends. White trash people play scratch-offs with their rent money on payday. It's different. The way they have kids is different. Nowadays, white people wait till they're 35 to have kids. They got in vitro clinics, ovulation calendars, fertility stuff. White trash people more fertile than an Amish cornfield, baby. You can't stop us from having kids, no matter how hard you try. The way they name those kids is different. White parents are like, Braden, Paisley, it's time for your piccolo lessons. Right? White trash parents like, Remington, Bassmaster. Quit exploding them frogs, get in the damn house. It's different. I know. I have kids. Of course I have kids. I worry about my kids all the time on account of this trash blood I gave them. You know, like I try to raise them right, but I worry at the end of the day my trash blood will be too much for them to overcome, you know? Like nobody should be forced to be giving my blood, dude. Like the Red Cross looks at my family history and they're like, we're good. Thanks, though. Right? Like, thank God for my wife for diluting it with hers a little bit, you know? But like, I love my wife, but she's from a different town in rural Tennessee. Like, her blood ain't top shelf for nothing, you know? Like, let's be honest. Like, my wife's blood is like boxed wine, you know? It's like, it's nobody's favorite, but people can handle it in a pinch, you know? My blood's just moonshine made in a radiator, dude. Like, it's just poison. That's all it is. Right? So I worry all the time about how my kids are going to turn out, right? But believe it or not, living in Los Angeles has kind of helped me with this. Because, like, you live in LA, you look around, you see plenty of rich white kids that are all up too, you know? And it makes me feel better. I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's not about the blood. Maybe it's just a crapshoot either way, right? But I got to say, I feel like that's another way in which they're different is childhood trauma. Because, like, rich white kids are like, yeah, my mother was never very emotionally available, and I've got a lot of residual psychological scarring from that. And white trash kids are like, I got beat with a tire iron. I have actual scars from that.
Everybody remembers their first job as a kid, man. You know, maybe you sold Girl Scout cookies, maybe you mowed lawns, you babysat, whatever. I was about 12 years old when I got my first job. I was the account manager for my granny's Marlboro Miles. Okay, real ones? No. Okay, yeah. So for everybody that was either too young to remember or maybe you just had a great childhood, let me set it up for you guys, okay? Marlboro used to have this program where if you smoked a ton of their cigarettes, they'd send you free shit. That's right, free stuff for doing the thing you loved most, man. The world really was a better place. And they used a point system, okay? It was 5 points per pack of cigarettes. And all you had to do was save up a whole bunch of points, pick what you wanted from the Marlboro catalog, okay? Send in your points, and they would mail you your item in the longest 6 to 8 weeks of your life. Marlboro sunglasses, Marlboro jackets, Marlboro coolers, Marlboro tents, Marlboro dartboards. I mean, they had it all, man, okay? And every item they had the Marlboro logo plastered across it. Because this was really all about marketing, okay? Because before this, the only way to advertise that you smoke Marlboros is if you walked around with an oxygen tank. And every item they had probably cost them $2 to make, you know, if that. And it was made by a 6-year-old Vietnamese kid who was definitely also smoking Marlboro Reds. Man, when they dropped this program, my granny upped it from 2 packs a day to 4. She quit becoming an addict and became an investor. And she had her eyes set on the biggest prize in that catalog, the Marlboro bicycle. Because nothing screams a healthy lifestyle like chain smoking while riding a bike. And y'all, the bicycle was 16,000 points. Now let's do a little math here, okay? That equals 3,200 packs of cigarettes. And let's say in the late 90s, early 2000s, I'm just lowballing here. Let's say a pack of cigarettes was $2. That equals $6,400 in cash. You could buy a Chevy S10 for $6,400 in 1998. That's trailer trash math, okay? And to you or me, that doesn't make sense. But to my granny, that's a free bike. Oh my God, you guys. It was wild. Y'all, our monthly cigarette budget was more than the grocery budget. One month, it was either cigarettes or toilet paper. And guess who had to wipe their ass with coffee filters? Me. She took it serious, man. She did, y'all. One time, my uncle got drunk and tripped over my grandma's little chihuahua. Went airborne, okay? Dropped a whole bowl of Wolf brand chili onto the coffee table. Ruined a fat stack of Marlboro miles I just counted out. Y'all, my grandma lost her shit. I swear to God, I saw it in slow motion, you guys. She jumped up, she choke slammed my uncle through the screen door into the backyard. It was wild, man. She went from 0 to full-blown Undertaker in 0.3 seconds.
I had a terrible, terrible ant infestation my senior year, like thousands and thousands of ants. Never considered calling an exterminator. Overjoyed that they were pouring into the house. Why call an exterminator? You don't call for backup, you know, when you've declared war. Those ants march into a house of death. I used to like to lure them onto the kitchen counter with some maple syrup. Maybe they think it was a sign of peace. Maybe I wanted to sign a tiny little treaty with them. They were horribly mistaken. I'd let them gather, then I'd get a can of WD-40 to match. Hello, napalm. This is war, ants. I'd burn them, but I'd leave a few alive, and I'd watch them walk back into the wall and pretend they were sending a message to the Queen. He's gone mad, Your Majesty. He burned Richard. That's exactly how they talk inside my head. If you want to have fun with ants, but you don't want to actually hurt them like that, you can also just kind of psychologically torture them. I discovered how to do that as well. Take one ant, put him in a Tupperware container full of sugar, seal him in, and just start laughing. This is his worst nightmare. All the sugar he could ever want, nowhere to take it. Walk around and around, you know, just losing his tiny mind. After like an hour, you take him out, throw him back on the anthill, and laugh some more. They're gonna have questions he can't answer. We smell the sugar, Nigel. Where is it? I do not know, sire. I do not know. Yeah, those ants were British. All ants are British because they colonize.
So I was in the airport the other day, and I see this really sweet sight. I see a woman, she's walking with her little boy, and the little boy is walking with his little dog. And it was just like, boop, boop, boop. It was so sweet. And the only thing that was interesting about it to me was that the woman was covered in tattoos, just completely sleeved on both arms, huge plate across her back. And I understand that's normal now. That's culture. I'm just glad it wasn't culture when I was that little boy. Just thinking about the tats my mom would have gotten. Pack of merits in an astrology magazine. Big Gothic font across her chest. Can I have 5 damn minutes to myself, please? And don't think I'm not gonna tell your father what you did when he gets home from work. Although God knows when that's gonna be, because it's Thursday night and he got his paycheck, so he's down at the bar with his friends, buying everybody rounds like we got all the money in the world, and then he's gonna come home and to me that we're broke, like I haven't seen a $20 bill since Johnson was the president. I'm sorry, Mrs. Gould, we're all out of back. Well, find somebody else, I'm still angry.
I'll just get this out of the way. I am aware of my accent as well. I don't need you guys just staring at me, being like, where's it come from? Because that happens every show I do. The first 5 minutes, they won't let me be a person with thoughts. It's just a guessing game. They're like, is it Texas? No. Mississippi? I'm like, don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. I just tell them, Tennessee. I'm from Tennessee. Every time I'm like, oh, you like a redneck? I'm like, absolutely not. It's highly offensive what you just said. Then they're like, you like a hillbilly? I relate. But if you meet an actual hillbilly, you have made a terrible mistake. You need to get off their property. They don't like that. That's like their only rule. Get! Oh, he said get with an I. Go. I get it. They also want to know, too, like, especially people that never been to the South, fascinated, like, what's the South really like? What's it really like? I'm like, well, it's probably like 8 or 10 of the coolest cities, full of the coolest people, very just unique and just a meld of different human beings and cultures. It's amazing, and the rest of it is exactly what you've heard. But more intense than you can imagine. And then they're always like, well, what's the worst part of the South? I'm like, Alabama, before you finish that question. You guys know, all right. And they're always, every time though, they're always like, well, what about Mississippi? I'm like, that's not their fault. Historically, the worst education system in our country since the start. They don't know any better. In Alabama, they know better. They just don't give a shit. That got applause in Birmingham. It's not what I was going for. I was trying to shame them. And they were like, that's us. Yeah. Roll Tide. I know how the accent sounds. I'm aware. It sounds dumb. I get it. It's a scam we're all running. People think we're way dumber than we actually are. It's the opposite of the British accent. Think about it. Yeah, they sound smart, but if you listen, you're like, oh, you're dumb as hell. I get it. There's certain words I shouldn't say. Makes people uncomfortable. Like, my wife is Jewish. Just saying that, people are like, hey, easy. Careful. I'm like, what? I married a Jew. People are like, I know you can't say that. Like, you can't say that. We just had a baby. I made a Jew. People are like, I gotta get out of here. He's trying to get people fired. Don't go over there. I did. I made a Jew, you guys. You can applaud. That's cool. It would have been weird if you kind of applauded and then didn't. You guys came through. I didn't know growing up I could make a Jew. I didn't know. But I can, and I did. Pretty cool. What happened was my wife is Jewish, and her vagina also Jewish. And the baby came out of there, Jew. It's science. And religion, I think. I don't understand. It's confusing. I don't ask a lot of questions. But he's got blonde hair and blue eyes. I Nazi-proof that son of a bitch. You can laugh out loud. That's a good thing I did. You guys can enjoy yourself here at the comedy show. Feel free. That joke 3 or 4 years ago was just historically funny, and then it got relevant again. I'm just saying, I did not see them making a comeback. I didn't. 3 or 4 years ago, people laughed and be like, that's funny. Now people laugh and like, that's good you did that. I get this question a lot because I sound like I do and then I say the stuff I do. How'd you get that way? It's confusing. You sound, like you sound, but the stuff you say is not from where you're from. Like, I had to evaluate it, and it's like, I think it's because my parents are pretty cool people. Like, my dad's a football coach and teacher. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I called him before he retired like a couple years ago. I was like, hey man, what do you do during the day? He's like, you need to mind your own business is what you need to do. Yes, sir, coach. My mom's an English teacher and a maniac. That's what she does. Sure, her name is Storm. Yeah, that's weird, right? I was in my 20s before I was like, that is weird. Because when you're little, you're just like, I guess everyone's mom's named after an American gladiator. That's how it is. That's Steven's mom, Laser. I lived in Seattle for a while, and they came to visit my parents. And there's a WNBA team there named the Seattle Storm. And I was like, is there anything you guys want to do while you're here? Like anything special? And my mom was like, I want to go see that Seattle Storm play. And I was like, why? She's like, because their name's I hate you so much. Smart ass. I was like, professional smart ass. I had no interest in going in the game, and my dad was like, I like fundamental basketball. You gotta listen to him, he's kind of mean. So I got them tickets, they went to the game, they came back. My dad walked past me like nothing happened. I was like, hey mom, what's going on? How was the game? It was great, I think I might be homophobic. What happened at the game? She's like, well, they were great seats. Thank you so much. We're down close, and action started happening. We were having fun, and then there was like a timeout, and then there were a lot of lesbians there. I was like, you don't have to whisper that word. That's their preferred word. She said, okay. Well, there are a lot of, I can't not whisper it. I don't know why. I was like, okay, there are a lot of lesbians there, Mom, yeah. And she was like, yeah, and then when there's the timeout, they'd all start making out and like their tongues going everywhere. I was like, oh, I don't like this. I was like, huh. Well, if there had been a bunch of straight couples there making out during the timeout, would that have bothered you? Yes. Stop making me see your tongue in public. I don't like that. I'm like, oh, Mom, you don't like public displays of affection, PDA. You're not homophobic. And she was like, oh, thank God. It's in there. I didn't like it, but it was in there, you know? And that was the moment where I was like, oh, this is how I am the way I am. Because my neurotic mother, my whole life, has been like, have you worried about something that doesn't exist and can't happen yet? She go worry about that.
Where do you find the low-income whites of this great country of ours? 2 words, Waffle House. Waffle House seems to be a headquarters for the low-income whites. Or if you're in the middle of the country, it's called a Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrels are just upscale Waffle Houses. We're in Nashville. You have Waffle Houses and Cracker Barrels. Can you say sweet spot? What's your mindset when you go to a Cracker Barrel? I want the unhealthiest food sold in public, but I still want to impulse buy a rocking chair. Where can I do it? Does such a place exist? It does.
It's called the Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrels are closing. Sorry, whites. Sorry, whites. Cracker Barrels are closing. Sorry, whites. I'm sorry, whites. But so are Red Lobsters. Sorry, blacks. Sorry, blacks. I'm sorry, blacks. That joke works better if there's more blacks in the room. Maybe someday, right, Nashville? We don't have Waffle Houses in the north where I live. I live in New York City. We have Starbucks. And I don't like Starbucks. I don't like the pretentious energy in Starbucks. You walk in, everybody's on their laptop. I guess writing their screenplay. You know what I think they're doing? I think they're laundering money. Something borderline illegal. So I walk past the pretentious people and I wait in line for the bathroom because I'm in my 50s. And that's what you do when you're in your 50s. You use the bathroom every place that you go. That's less of a joke, more of a medical fact. I don't know how it is here, but the Starbucks in New York, someone's always in the bathroom for a long time. It's one guy, he's really in there. I don't know what he's doing in there, but he's in there real good. I can tell you that. He's living his best life. I don't know if he's finishing college or starting a podcast, but he's in there. He's in there real good. And just when I think he's coming out, water starts coming from underneath the door, indicating that he's not coming out anytime soon. The last time I was at Starbucks, I was waiting in line for the bathroom. The man in front of me had a dog that was wearing a sweater. I hate it. It's so condescending. The dog looked like he went to a better college than I did. It looks like he could bite somebody and he's already dressed for court. The line's taking too long. I exit the line and now I'm waiting in the line for coffee, which is also very long, but it's moving, and I eventually get to the front and the girl with the purple hair goes to take my order. And I go, medium black coffee, nothing in it. She goes, don't you mean grande? I said, miss, I don't think it's the right time to be teaching me Italian. There's a man swimming in your bathroom. None of this is the case at the Waffle House. I went to my first Waffle House last year on the road in Mississippi. First of all, I love the name, Waffle House. House is in the name. It's very welcoming. And it's ironic because everyone in the Waffle House looks like they live in their car. I'm talking Waffle House now. I live in New York City. First Waffle House, Mississippi. I walk in, I'm wearing a shirt with sleeves, so I was overdressed. I go to the bathroom. There's no code on the door of the bathroom at the Waffle House like at Starbucks. There's no door on the bathroom of the Waffle House. Come and go as you please. Little thing called freedom you might have read about in your history books. I finish my business and I'm walking back to my table and it's Mississippi. I'm looking at the back of people's heads and it's mullet, mullet, head injury. Mullet, mullet, head injury. Mullet, mullet, head injury. Mullet, mullet. I get back to my table and that waitress is a talker. OMG. I knew everything about her in a couple of minutes. Mother of 5, all cesarean. I know that because she showed me the scar as I was eating. Things move quickly at the Waffle House, guys. 1 minute you're discussing menu options. The next minute you're running your finger along a cesarean scar of a woman you just met. 3 of the 5 kids she had during the lunch rush at that Waffle House. The other two she had in a bathtub full of moonshine. Mississippi baptism. She's telling me about her life. Turns out she had just gone through a painful divorce. She was married to her cousin. Get off your high horse, Nashville. It's Mississippi. People marry their cousins. And I have empathy for that, because if you're dating your cousin, you kind of have to marry your cousin. Because how do you break up with your cousin? What do you even say? Look, I just want to be family. She starts to tear up talking about her divorce, and I'm compassionate, so I reach up, I touch her face, I wipe away her tear, and I remember I said to her, I said, Scalene? That was her name, Scalene, named after the white trash of all the triangles. I said, Scalene, you did the right thing by getting them youngins as kids, out of that toxic relationship. And out of my peripheral, which is a word they don't understand in Mississippi, I see a man choking. He's a big redneck, no disrespect. And out of instinct, I yell, is there a doctor here? Not realizing that I'm at a Waffle House. Probably not a doctor at a Waffle House. Now I looked at the people's faces and I thought to myself, more a chance of a doctor than a dentist. No one has teeth in Mississippi. Are you guys gonna get these jokes or no? So I think to myself, Michael, you graduated from high school. You're the closest thing to a doctor at this Waffle House. You gotta do something. So I start to make my move. He's a big redneck, he's choking, I'm coming from behind him. I don't want to startle him, but I know I'm in the South, so I get close and I whisper in his ear, I whisper, I'm white. I lock my hands and I start the Heimlich maneuver, which is gay marriage in Mississippi, and someone starts recording it with their phone, I assume for Pornhub, and after about 15 thrusts, which is what I'm good for, piece of Scrapple shoots out of his mouth and hits another man in the face, also named Scrapple. Scrapple Jenkins, he was the sheriff. So I head back to my table and I'm sitting there contemplating the meaning of life, and my waitress, Scalene, she comes walking towards me and I notice she's limping. And we're friends at this point, so I call out to her. I say, Scalene, baby girl? Do you got the scoliosis? She said, nope, Ferris wheel accident. Did you guys know Mississippi is 50th in education, but #1 in Ferris wheel accidents? It's the silent killer. There's two types of people in Mississippi. People who've been injured in a Ferris wheel accident and people who will be injured in a Ferris wheel accident. It's an epidemic.
And this is strange, but my entire family and I, including my mom, are actually world champion foosball players. Yeah, thank you. And my mom is in the Foosball Hall of Fame. Yeah. But every time my mom gets a new nurse, the nurse will always ask her about her life. And my mom always goes, well, I'm in the Foosball Hall of Fame. And every nurse goes, sure you are. And I'm always standing there like, oh, yeah, no, I know that sounds made up, but I swear it's real. And the nurse is like, hey, you don't have to. And I'm like, lady, I swear to God, I can show you her trophies, I can show you a video of her playing. And that's when the nurse starts to look at the other nurses like, oh, does the daughter have dementia too? It's like a T-Mobile family plan of dementia. It's like too weird to believe. And my mom growing up was also somebody you did not want to cross. My parents got divorced in the 90s, back when there were home phone answering machines. And before the divorce, our answering machine message was my dad saying, "You've reached the Cooks, please leave us a message." And then after the divorce, my mom had changed it to her just blasting Alanis Morissette's "You Oughta Know." So every time my dad would call, my mom would let it go to the machine so that if he wanted to leave a message for her, every time he first had to sit through the lyrics, "And I'm here to remind you of the mess you left when you went away." I mean, that's a bad move right there. That takes balls. Because it's not like that was just the message for when my dad called. That was the message for literally anybody who called our house. So after a while, we started to get messages from people like, "Hey, this is Dave from Blockbuster. And I'm here to remind you." "Your Space Jam VHS is overdue. Really sorry about whatever you're going through."
And it's really exciting to be able to tell this joke where people understand what a garage refrigerator is. It's wonderful, okay? Because I live in Los Angeles right now. And when I talk about having a garage refrigerator to a Los Angeles audience, all they hear is 2 refrigerators. Someone must have grown up a billionaire. And I have to correct him. I'm like, "Oh no, you don't understand what a garage refrigerator means for most of the United States. A garage refrigerator simply means you finally got a new refrigerator. And then you said, 'Don't throw the broken one away.' That's for weird shit now. That's for things that should get cold, but if they don't, that's still okay. That's for things we don't want around the everyday milk and eggs, you know? That's for more loose deer meat in a Ziploc. That's what we're gonna put out in the garage refrigerator. Stuff from your neighbor, that goes in the garage refrigerator. You know what I mean? Your neighbor Gerry shows up, he's like, "You want this meat?" "Nah, I shot him." Like, "You wrecked your car, Gerry, you hit that meat, I know that. That's hit meat."
Here's a sport I can't watch. Baseball makes me want to die. Nothing happens, and it happens slowly. And the players don't care. They finally put a clock on it, but they need more clocks on it. It's the only sport where the players don't charge onto the fields. They just take their time. Everything is taking their time. They just kind of meander out. Shoelaces untied, they got a big gulp, smoking a cigarette. And you're like, "All right, I guess we're gonna start." And they're like, "Nah, we're gonna play catch for about 5 minutes while you guys wait. We're gonna throw some grounders, play a little catch. Matter of fact, we're gonna do it every time we switch sides. Catch starts again." So you watch that, and then you're like, "All right, I guess now we're finally gonna start." No. Now we're gonna watch a guy in a magic white circle practice swinging a bat. He's been swinging it since he was this big, but he's like, "How's this go again?" Like, huh? Like that? That's true. And then finally he steps up to the plate and you're like, "All right, now we're gonna go." And after 10 seconds, he's like, "Time out. I just need a couple more. I haven't quite this." And then he finally digs in, and now we're gonna go. No, we're not. Now the pitcher and the catcher, they got a little game they like to play. Where the pitcher looks at the catcher and he goes, "Guess which pitch I'm gonna throw?" No, that's not it. Guess again. No, warmer. No, f all these people. Who gives a shit? Keep guessing. Finally, he gets it right. The guy throws the pitch. Batter doesn't swing. Whole thing starts all over again. Bullshit. Get rid of the catcher, get a bucket of balls, and just start whipping balls at the guy. Not next to him. What is that? Throw it at him. If you can hit him, he's out. That's the rule. Now he's going to swing at every pitch just to defend himself. And no more resting on each base. Oh, I'm safe on the bag. No, what are you, 7? Keep running. You keep running until you're tackled by a guy from the other team who's carrying the ball. And a bat. Every player should keep a bat in their hand throughout the game. I want to see 18 guys jacked up on steroids, frothing at the mouth, swinging bats at each other. That I would watch every night.
I'm falling apart, and I know what it's from. It's from Little Debbie Zebra Rolls. I've ruined my body by eating a mass-produced snack cake. That's the decision I've made. But they're amazing. They're so good, and some of you might be thinking, I love Little Debbie Zebra cakes. Not what I said. You can shove the cakes up your ass. Figuratively, of course, because they're hexagons. Can't shove a hexagon up your ass, and if you can, you're doing Kegels wrong. In my opinion, Little Debbie Zebra cakes, it's not enough cake and it's way too much frosting. And the frosting is plasticky, so it gums up on the roof of your mouth, and you have to try to scrape it off with the back of your tongue. That makes you look like an idiot, because that's how they made animals talk in the movies. Where's your mom? We'll find her. But what Little Debbie has done is she's taken this cake, which is a great idea in theory, and she's turned it into a roll. She's streamlined it to the perfect ratio of both cake and frosting. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know if Little Debbie's a real person or not, but if she is, she's a It's a tough word to say when you're at half capacity already. Right? Because I know I'm going to lose people when I say that word. And by people, I mean white ladies, and that's fine. And also men sitting next to white ladies that now have a don't you dare laugh pinch mark on their inner thigh, right? It's like, I'm sorry. I know you told me before we left. Have you ever had Little Debbie Zebra Rolls? You haven't? Well, welcome to tomorrow. You're diabetic? Yeah, me too. My foot hurts. I would rather hop on one foot for the rest of my life than give up Little Debbie Zebra Rolls. They're even perfect for the pandemic because you don't have to really grab them that much. You have to get it to your mouth, and as soon as you do, you can just flat palm that and shove it in like a wood chipper. You don't even have to chew it if you don't want. It's the same shape as your throat. You can just shove it in. And if one gets stuck, unwrap another one, knock it loose. It's like you're putting batteries in a flashlight. It's incredible.
I celebrate the differences between Jews and non-Jews. If you don't think there are differences, you're out of your mind. There are. If you don't believe me, go to Home Depot. Go to Home Depot. Home Depot is a code. It means Jews, you have no business shopping in here. Everyone that's not Jewish walks in there, they know exactly what they need. I need a 3x2 bipipe with reversible threading and a drip clamp, and the guy's gone. Jews walk into Home Depot, they look constipated. And then a half hour, does anybody work here? Does anybody work here out of pity, out of Rachmanis? They come over to help us. What are you looking for there, Jew? And we have no idea what the stuff's even called. I'm looking for the thing that goes inside. It's the piece that goes in before you put the other You screw in the piece it's in. Oh, an anchor. That's it, an anchor. Beth, it's called an anchor. Yes, my neighbor, the guy, is gonna help me put shelves up, which is one of the nicest ways to use the word guy.
Saddest song in the world is Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett. But not Margaritaville as it was written. You gotta think about what Margaritaville is now. Because now Margaritaville isn't a fictional location where some made up, relaxed dude like, I guess I screwed things up, whatever, que sera. Ooh, thatched roofed huts, white sand beach, I'll get over it. No. Margaritaville now that you know it's a real brick and mortar restaurant that sits in the parking lots of shopping malls throughout the country. If you listen to the lyrics of that song, but that's the setting, that's the darkest shit you've ever heard in your life. Not some fictional island that's in the Caribbean. How do we get to it? Stolen jet boat? Maybe one of them airplanes that has hot dog buns instead of wheels, so it can cruise right up onto the beach. No, Margaritaville number 218, St. Paul, Minnesota, let's say early February. It's the tail end of a lunch rush. It's a community college dropout behind the bar just wiping off laminate menus. And there's a man sitting at the bar by himself, openly weeping into a basket of coconut shrimp. Some people say that's a woman to blame. But I know. This is my own damn fault. Hey, Terry, you want to get your together? There's families in here right now, bud. I get that you're a bit broken up, but we can't be like this. My assistant manager's here, and you're looking real overserved right now, all right? I can box this up, and you could eat it in your van, but I can't have this. That's a Pee-wee soccer team in the back room, all right? Let's get it together, okay? Can I get you anything else? I'm just looking for my lost shaker of salt. There's one on every table. What the f*** does that even mean, man? Why are you wearing up flip-flops? It's freezing outside. So Payless shoes across the parking lot. I'll give you the money for boots. That joke will be even better when I learn more lyrics to Margaritaville.
I got married 2 years ago. But we didn't go on our honeymoon until last year. Yeah. We went to Italy. Yeah. Boy, they are Italian over there. You think you're prepared for it, because, like, it's Italy, and then you're sitting in a cafe in Rome, and the server comes over, and he's like, okay, so first of all, we know do a spaghetti. And you're sitting there like, oh, my God. The racist didn't go far enough this time. We were in Naples. We went to Naples, and in Naples, I saw 3 people riding one Vespa. 2 of them were smoking unfiltered cigarettes, and the third was holding an open bottle of red wine. It was a toddler. It was a toddler holding the wine. In Naples, they use toddlers as cup holders for wine. We went to the Vatican on our trip, which, as a Jew, does feel like a secret mission. I felt like if I made it all the way through without getting detected, I should get to kiss the Pope. And I just like, mwah, you didn't find me. He'd probably be cool with it, right? This Pope, isn't it still like the cool Pope right now? Isn't it still? Yeah, the Pope was just like that's his energy. He's like, hey, call me Rick, how are ya? Yeah, like, he doesn't do the big hat, he does a little Catholic yarmulke, that's his energy, right? Kirkland signature robes, that's the Pope. You know who I feel bad for is the next Pope. Because he didn't sign up for all this humble stuff. Right? If he ever wants to go back to full Pope hat strength, he's gonna have to do it gradually, or people are gonna talk. He's gonna have to, every week, wear a slightly bigger hat. He's gonna be in meetings at the Vatican like, okay, so first order of business is, and one of the cardinals is gonna be like, Your Holiness, is that a bigger hat? No. It's a different hat. It was scary, Italy. A little bit. Because as you're going around the country, you're learning a little bit about its history. And I was reminded that not too long ago, Italy used to be a fascist country. In the 1930s and the 1940s, under Benito Mussolini, they were fascist. And that was crazy to me because this is also the country that invented the ravioli. And it's just hard to hold those 2 ideas in your head at the same time. Although, I guess if you lived in a country where one person invented something as impactful as the ravioli, you might be more willing to believe that a man could be God. And then I thought about it some more, and I realized something startling. Many of the countries that have given us the finest dumplings on the planet have, at one time or another, succumbed to fascism. Think about it. Russia, dumplings, fascism. Poland, dumplings, fascism. China, in my opinion, the finest dumplings on the planet, but also, occasionally, unfortunately, fascism. So I guess the question that we need to ask ourselves as Americans is, do Hot Pockets count? Because otherwise,
Good year for doctors to be on TV. Sanjay Gupta, oh my God, they put that guy to work. Especially early on in the pandemic, he'd be on CNN like, hi everyone, I'm Sanjay Gupta, I'm a neurosurgeon. And today I'm gonna teach you how to sanitize a Nutri-Grain bar. I repeat, I'm a neurosurgeon. I do brain surgery. I could be doing brain surgery right now. In fact, someone isn't getting brain surgery. Because I'm standing here with a tub of Clorox wipes, about to teach you how to do something you don't actually need to do. But more on that in 8 months. To learn how to cook during the pandemic, went on TikTok for recipes. Every recipe on TikTok is speed-oriented. Like, do you want to make a 25-second breakfast? Start the clock. I started to embrace the idea of cooking, but then there's always that ingredient deal breaker. I'd be watching the chef on the screen, and I'm like, oh, come on, man. You think I have rice vinegar? You know I don't have rice vinegar. Look at me, you know I don't have it. 3 people in the world have rice vinegar. You and your 2 roommates. Realized how lazy I was about cooking. I'd read the directions on a microwave burrito. I'd be like, heat on high for 1 minute, then flip over. I didn't go to Le Cordon Bleu Culinary Academy. I'm gonna see if I can slam this out in 1 step. No basting. Glad we're eating out again. I've had some great exchanges with waiters and waitresses over the years. There's an actual exchange I had with a waiter at an Italian restaurant in New York City not too long ago. Hi, is it possible to get a decaf espresso? You're the worst. Okay. I don't mean to be all lawyerly, but that was a yes or no question. But if you want to go with you're the worst, that works fine. Anyway, give me a decaf espresso with a big spoon of ketchup in it. Now I'm really bad. I was in a diner in Oklahoma. I ordered a salad, and she goes, what kind of dressing? I said, Italian. She leaned in and whispered something to me. But I didn't understand her. I go, what's that? She goes like, it's not good. What's not good? The Italian dressing. It's not good. It's not good. What's not good about it? It's not that tangy. Maybe you and I have different standards for tangy. Which dressing should I get? I'd go with Thousand Island. I don't like Thousand Island. I'll have the Italian. Are you sure it's not good? What part of it's not good, don't you understand? We'll end that one right there. There was like 4 points I could have gotten out of that joke, and I just kept going. Felt so comfortable with you guys. I was doing really good before the pandemic. Started taking a Pilates class. Consisted of me and 3 women who knew how to do Pilates. The instructor always had to make adjustments. You're like, all right, ladies, let's do that thing when we hang from a bar and do jumping jacks and sit-ups at the same time. Todd, here's some crayons. Why don't you mark up the wall for me, Todd? Draw an owl for me. Big owl with a lot of detail. All right, ladies, we're going to stand on our hands and put 100-pound weights on the balls of your feet. Todd, I don't know, download a Scrabble app. Or leave. Yeah, why don't you leave? I like that idea best. Walking's good exercise. Walk on out air. Yes, I see your t-shirt. It says, I heart Pilates. Hit the road. So Chicago, that's a pretty cool city, huh? I took a pandering course earlier, and they said to say that on stage. How much is a house here? What's that? Nine what? $9? Oh my God. Note to self, talk to someone else. Apartment just sold in New York City, bought by a hedge fund manager, $238 million. 24,000 square feet. If I had a 24,000 square foot apartment in New York, I'd still be telling people from out of town, I'm not really set up for guests. Yeah, it's just a one-bedroom apartment with 53 home offices. Yeah, you're welcome to crash, but you'd be sleeping with your head on a fax machine. The upkeep must be ridiculous on that place. You'd be at home, honey, you want to go to the movies today? I'd love to, but we really need to go to Bed Bath & Beyond to buy 35,000 Swiffer sheets. I can't even imagine a 24,000 square foot apartment. My apartment is 800 square feet, and I'm a celebrity. Do I have to become a hedge fund manager to get a bigger place? Or worse than that, find out what a hedge fund manager is? Again? Tried like 500 times. People start explaining to me, it's not going to happen. I'll try again in 6 weeks. Everything's expensive in New York. I went to buy new glasses, eyeglasses, went to the boutique place. I go, how much are these glasses? The guy said they're $1,000. I was like, oh, that's kind of expensive. He's like, well, think of it this way. You'll have them for 3 years. It's like $1 a day. Well, when you put it that way, it sounds more expensive. If I asked you how much these glasses were, and you said you have to give me $1 a day every day for 3 years, I'd be like, wow, that is a pricey pair of glasses. I'm doing the math in my head. I'd say that's roughly $1,000. Why don't I take $1,000, buy 2 pairs of $200 glasses, and also a round-trip ticket to Barcelona? No, I'm glad we're traveling again. A few years ago, I went to Bangkok. Almost didn't go. Saw a video on YouTube called The Scams of Bangkok. This dude was a little paranoid. He's like, if you go to a museum and you see someone smiling, total scam. If you go to a restaurant, they have noodles on the menu, your identity's just been stolen. If you show up at your hotel, there's a front desk, call Interpol. Classic flim-flam. Can't believe I've barely done any crowd work. What do you think? How's it going? What's your name? What do you do, Chris? Design engineer. Holy shit. I don't think I want to do crowd work tonight. Design engineer? What does that mean?
I design recess lights, track lights.
Okay, all right. I'm in the business, I get this. I was just looking at how great these recess lights are tonight. It was good talking to you, Chris. We just took a recess from being funny for a while. Yeah. Holy. I pulled that one out, huh? Been trying out Airbnbs on the road. You got to read those listings very closely. They always start out good. It's like on a tree-lined street close to shops and restaurants. Oh, I like that. You'll have the whole place to yourself. Oh, I like that. I let my neighbor store his guns in my linen closet. Yeah, not sure how I feel about that. So he might pop in from time to time. Definitely don't like that. But don't worry, he has a key. Ooh, that makes me worry. Also, there's a great home theater system. You're not allowed to use it. Stay out of the kitchen. And there's a python under the sofa. You must feed him 15 times a day. But to reiterate, you'll have the whole place to yourself. Close to shops and restaurants. I always get nervous booking an Airbnb because my picture's in my profile. I know the hosts are at home going, oh my God, honey. You're not going to believe who's sleeping in our attic tonight. I'll give you a clue. Small but pivotal role in Pootie Tang. Todd Barry's sleeping in our attic? Yeah, he can't afford a hotel, I guess not. Let's get the good pillows out for him. I stayed at a hotel in Los Angeles. And when I got back, I realized I left my toiletry bag at the hotel in Los Angeles, and it was a really nice one, sent to me by the Cartoon Network, had cartoons all over it. I wanted it back. I called up the hotel. I go, I was in room 318. I left my toiletry bag. It's got cartoons all over it. The guy's like, oh yeah, we found that. I was like, great, can I get it back? He's like, can you describe the cartoons? Did you think I was calling you on the off chance that someone left behind the toiletry bag with cartoons on it? Like I'm in the market for one, don't know where to find one, so I'm calling hotels all day long, hoping for a miracle. Maybe I got an anonymous tip. Some guy comes up to me in an alley, Todd, don't ask who I am, but if you're in the market for half a bottle of dandruff shampoo and 5 dusty Viagras, call this hotel, tell me in room 318. You left your toiletry bag, it's got cartoons all over it. What kind of cartoons? They'll never ask you that. Why would they ask you that? It'd be crazy to ask you that.
I'm from 1980. I've slowly time traveled here in an unimpressive but achievable manner. The tail end of Generation X. For a hot minute, all the 1980 kids really tried to pull a fast one on America. And they were like, actually, we're neither Gen X nor millennial. We're something in between. We call us gazillennials. Here's 35 think pieces to try to convince you. And it was like, I was like, shut up, you're embarrassing all of us. We got stuck on the uncool train, you cannot hop off. You're Gen X, deal with it. Yes, and the younger Gen X people don't understand some of the things about the older Gen X generation, like Elvis Costello, but like, that doesn't make you your own generation. And if there's something I believe in more than anything in this country, it's the generation, like designating and criticizing generations. That's what this country was built on. That's an important industry in this country. It employs tens of thousands of people. Generational science, of course. As a generational researcher, I have many things to say about the topic. If you're following generation science, as I like to call it right now, they have a controversy. You look at a Wikipedia page of any generation, they don't know what to call the next ones. They had Gen X, they had Gen Y, now they're at Gen Z. They're the ones growing up and showing up places, and now they're like, what do we call the next people? What could possibly come after Generation Z? We're at the end. I suppose we could round the horn and go to AA or something. Reset the system. My God, who could have foreseen it? Why did you start the countdown at the third to last letter of the alphabet? You had 23 other options to enter. I know the answer to that. The answer to that is Generation X was the first generation of people that had to be shamed en masse. Before that, all the generations were just compliments. They are the greatest generation. Well, they're the silent generation. These ones, they're the baby boom. Bop, bop, baby boom. We're just babies. We f everything up, but we're babies. I'm a 75-year-old baby that owns everything. It's not my fault. Generation X was the first group of children where they were like, get rid of, these kids suck. Boo, X. There was an infamous cover of a Newsweek magazine where there was a baby in front of a television, like the movie Poltergeist. They were like, look at this poor, stupid child watching TV at home. Yes, you bought it, Dad. They're watching music television. Was it gonna always only ever be the McLaughlin group? I want to know who are the designated jackasses at Newsweek magazine whose job it is to criticize a generation every 30 or 40 years. Is it an editorial board, or is it like one old monstrous crypt keeper nightmare monster who's like underneath the Newsweek magazine building, frozen, and then they just unfreeze him every few decades? I have been summoned. That means our new cohorts must be shamed. Bring me one of these children. Yes, yes, yes. The new one. Young, so very young. Lazy. Yes, yes. These ones do not appreciate the value of hard work, do they? It's their fault the housing market has plateaued. Yeah. Make sure she has nothing. But just to clarify, I'm in agreement with those people.
All right, I've been up here for a while. I better get to it. I know why you guys came. Let's talk about Walgreens. It's an important issue. It's a complex issue, but there's a lot of sides, you know. I mean, on one hand, you got to give it up. There are a lot of Walgreens. Like, there's several Walgreens. I mean, you're always close. I mean, it's very convenient. Also, they're open late. But I've noticed after about 9 o'clock, they're just kind of open. You ever walk into Walgreens like 11:30 and the lights are on and the doors are unlocked and there's not one human being visible? It's upsetting. It feels like something horrible happened right before I got there. Like, what, did a cheetah get loose in here or something? Did CBS attack him? Eventually you'll hear, I'm back here. Well, don't be, okay? Be up here. You're a business. You're supposed to have an up here guy at all times. That's what sets you apart from an abandoned warehouse, Walgreens. Also, when you said I'm back here, you startled me. I'm too old to ever want to be startled again, especially in an empty Walgreens in the middle of the night. Next time, maybe you could just jump out from behind the Pringles in a hockey goalie mask. That'll be fun. If you need something done back there so bad, why don't you just hire another guy? Right now, you have exactly one more employee than a vending machine. It's not a good look. You're the number 27 company in the Fortune 500, and you have one guy. There's a lemonade stand in my neighborhood, 2 girls. They have double the employees as Walgreens. And listen, like, if you're working anywhere now, at Walgreens anywhere, thank you. I mean, I appreciate you working. But let's face it, if you're the late night worker at Walgreens, you're not first string. Like, you're not their best guy, okay? And you're a little weird. That's why they put you on nights. And
And they know that. That's why they shouldn't make you do stuff back there. They should give you 2 simple jobs. Number 1, stand next to the register. Number 2, wear some article of clothing that says the word Walgreens on it. Because when I walk in, I want to know, you're the guy that works at Walgreens, not the guy that just shot the guy that works at Walgreens.
Another thing, if you're a thief, if anybody in here is like a shoplifter, or you steal, I mean, I can see a couple of you. I can see it. I wasn't going to call you out, sir, but I mean, if you're a thief and you go to Walgreens at 11:30 at night and there's not one human being visible, take a couple of things. Like, just take some stuff. That's how we're going to get a permanent up here guy, is if you dirtbags start stealing late, they will staff up. Now, listen to me. Stealing is wrong. It's bad. If you don't steal, don't start. I'm just saying, if you happen to steal from Walgreens during the day, could you go a little bit later? Like that, it's going to be better for you. You're going to get way more stuff, honestly. It's trick-or-treat in there after 11. Like, nobody's watching. And if you get in trouble, you're fine. Go in front of the judge and say, Your Honor, I walked in, there was not one human being visible. How was I supposed to know it was a store? It felt more like a place where you just take stuff. You know that take a penny, leave a penny thing? It felt like that, except for you take a lot of stuff and you leave it. You leave. You just leave. You leave. They're not good at night. I mean, they're better during the day. They're not killing it, but they're better. They're better. You go during the day, there's gonna be an up here guy. Okay, there's gonna be somebody next to the register, but one somebody. Okay, that line could get to like 7 people, still one. It's got to get to like 11, then they go, Chuck, we need you to come up front. Wait a minute, you had an extra guy back there the whole time? Now I'm angry. Okay, Chuck, when you do go up front, I better see you hustle. Okay, you better sprint to the front, and when you get up there, you better act like you're sorry for what you did to everybody in this line. Just get right to work. Scan, no chit-chat. Scan, no chit-chat. Matter of fact, if you're a customer at Walgreens and you get to the front of the line, no chit-chat from you either. You can talk to the cashier, but business conversation only. This goes mostly for you old guys, okay? I know that's the highlight of your day, sir. I know you've been waiting to get in there all morning and chat it up with the cashier. But we don't want to hear it, right? You think we're going to get in the rain tonight, literally? Shut up, old man. Shut up, we're not retired back here. Just get to your business talk. We know you have business talk because there's never been one old guy that got to the front of the line at Walgreens that did not have some sort of a price discrepancy. Every time. $1.25 for a Snicker bar. The circular said 18 cents. The circular? The circular from 1756 might have said that price, sir. Also, when you walk into Walgreens, they have shopping carts. No. I have met your employees, and they cannot handle that kind of volume, right? Like, I have seen them struggle with 2 items. Now we're going to encourage people to get 54. That's a bad idea. Everybody in this room knows the unwritten rule at Walgreens, whatever you can hold in your hand, that's how much you can buy. If you need more, you turn around, you go to Target. That's a Target trip. You don't bring a Target trip to Walgreens. And God forbid an old person gets their hands on one of those carts, they'll have to shut it down. Sorry guys, Walgreens is closed. Mort got a cart. Now listen, I think you guys are looking at me like, well, this guy hates Walgreens. I don't. I love Walgreens. That's why I'm so hard on them. I mean, that's my pharmacy. I've been going to the same Walgreens my whole life, and I think they're good. I think they're better than CVS. Close, but I think they're better than CVS. And you guys are probably like, wait a minute, Greg. You said Walgreens has 1 employee. How could they be better than CVS? CVS has 1 employee for every 5 stores. That's how they do it. So, where's the checker? He's in Chillicothe right now. Like, he's just not...
He'll just wait. He'll be here. Show some patience. No, hey, listen, when I'm talking about Walgreens, I'm not talking about the pharmacy. I'm talking about regular Walgreens. Like, I don't think that's the same company. Like, I bet you the regular Walgreens workers are not allowed to talk to the pharmacy people. Like, yeah, don't look at them. They're better than us. Don't look at them. I bet you every now and then the regular Walgreens manager tries to go in and tell the pharmacy people to do something like, hey guys, I was thinking today, maybe shut up, Ted, you got no jurisdiction here. Go sell pretzels. We're gonna heal the sick. I mean, Walgreens has good stuff. I mean it. Like, they're open on Christmas, 24 hours. I have never missed one Christmas at Walgreens. Like, Greg, did you go to midnight mass? No, I went to 11:30 Walgreens. Here's what I do, okay? I have a tradition. Every Christmas Eve, I wrap gifts, and I get sick of it real quick. And I go to Walgreens, and I buy a bunch of those holiday gift bags. You know what I'm talking about? It's their perfect way to say, hey, I want to spend money on you, but not time or effort, okay? Here's what I'm going to do with your gift. I'm going to throw it in a bag. I'm going to crinkle up some garbage and put it on top so we can't see what's in there for 13 seconds, and then we're going to pretend like I wrapped that gift. That gift is about as wrapped as bubblegum under a desk. It's not wrapped. My dad uses holiday gift bags, sorta. When he buys your gift at the store, they put it in a bag, and that's what you're getting on Christmas morning. And it's going to have a couple of his items in the bottom that he forgot to take out. You're like, oh, foot powder, Dad, thanks. Give me that. My grandma, Nano was the greatest gift wrapper in history. She wrapped our gifts in maps. Isn't that cool? Like, yeah, I wish I would have saved them. My grandma worked for the Defense Department in mapping. She did, and she would bring these maps home from the office. I don't know if she was supposed to do that, but she did, and it was great because I was like, oh, your grandma has wrapping paper with Snoopy's and Santa Clauses? That's cute. My grandma trusted me with strategic bombing locations in mainland China.
My first job, I was a teacher. That's what I did. And first job, I lied to get a job because there were no phys ed jobs. And that completely backfired. They made me teach grade 12 history. I know, I didn't even take grade 12 history when I was in high school. So I'm teaching it, and I'm like the 10th smartest person in the class. That's not good. Awful. No idea what I was doing. Had never taken history in my life. I had to go home every night, read the chapters myself first to learn everything. Then I'd come in and teach it. That's how the whole year was. I'd even assign the homework like this every night. All right, tonight for homework, I'd like you to read chapters 1 to 3, okay? And then stop reading, all right? Don't go reading ahead. Coming in asking questions tomorrow on stuff I haven't learned yet. That's a no-no. We don't do that. Because that's what the smart kids would do. Every day I had this kid, Duncan. Every day he had a new question. Sir, what happened to the Mayan civilization? What chapter's that, Duncan? 15. What are you, a loser? You read the whole book already? I couldn't call him a loser. I could think it. But that's the thing, right? Teachers don't know the answer. We don't admit it. I never said, I don't know. I'd lie. Throw it back on the kids. That was my trick. Oh, is that right, Duncan? Huh. So you think I'm just going to spoon feed you the answers all year, do you? No, that's not how I teach, kids. So thanks to Duncan, I would like the rest of you to go home tonight and look up what happened to whatever he's mumbling about at the back. That was my whole year. It's horrible. I'd have Duncan come up and write the question on the board in big letters. Because I needed to see how he spelled Mayan so I could Google it later myself. Thank God for Google. When you can't spell something, at the top it says, "Did you mean this word, idiot?" Thank you, Google Master. It was horrible. Then you had to come in the next day, take up the homework. Oh, I still don't know what happened to the Mayan civilization. Kids have their hand up. I'm like, put your hand down, Dave. You got a 30 average. I'm not gambling on your answer. Can't ask a kid with a 30 average. I don't know if he's right or wrong. He's gonna give an answer. I'm just gonna be like this. That's a good. Let's see what someone smarter than you thinks. That's how I had to. Lorraine, can you tell us what happened to the Mayan civilization? And then whatever she would say, I would vote. How many people agree with that answer? There you go, Duncan. That's exactly what happened right there. There's a whole year of that. One kid smoked pot every day. Unbelievable. Pot. This kid would smoke it every morning, 9 o'clock, first period. Walk in stoned every day like I'm stupid. I can't tell you're stoned. It's 12th grade. You stick out like a sore thumb. Teachers aren't idiots. Then I thought about it. I think the only grade that kids could have smoked up before class and walked in without getting caught was kindergarten. That's the only grade. Think about it. You could have smoked up all you want before kindergarten. Stormed into class. No one would know. It took everybody an hour and a half to get their coat and boots off. You smoke up all you want. You'll be taking forever to get your boots off. So would everybody else. You'd be like, God, everybody's smoked up today. Look at this. Who's the dealer? Imagine being stoned at the age of 4. That would be hilarious. Trying to get that piece of crap $8 snowsuit off. Remember this thing from Kmart? Had one zipper. Started at your forehead. Couldn't breathe for the first 3 minutes of the day. Got stuck 15 times. You're stoned out of your mind, walking around going, God, it's hot. It's hot. It's June. Why am I wearing a snowsuit? This pot is screwing up my ability to recognize the seasons. What kind of crap zipper was that? One zipper. When only the left leg came out, remember? It started up here, wrapped around a couple times, in case it wasn't on tight enough, we wrap it up. And then only the left leg, that's how it was made. People making it were like, let the little potheads figure it out. We don't need 2 zippers. So you're stoned out of your mind and you can't get it off. You're like, I can't get the right leg out. And you're dragging around your snowsuit. You think it's a dead body because of the pot. You're like, whoa, there's a dead body. You're getting tired. That's a great grade to be stoned. Miss, I'm tired. When's our nap? Oh. Did I miss snack time? I'm starving. I'm so hungry. I was racist in grade 1. Yeah. I didn't mean to be racist. I don't know why I did this. My best friend was a kid named Rami Jahari. That's how he said his name. I don't know why I did this. I wasn't trying to be funny. I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just a 6-year-old kid. He was one of my best friends, but I'd call him over every recess. Rami! Okay, let's try this. Did I say anything? Nothing? Okay, I got some other ideas tomorrow. I'll see you at recess. I do that every day. Then I go to his house for lunch. You ever go to an Arabic person's house for lunch when you're 6? It's terrifying. Everything they say, they sound angry. His father would come in the room. Rama! Mitayaka sitayar makaratia! Okay. My dad would like to know if you like peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch. I had a buddy skipped grade 1. Wow. How the hell do you skip grade 1? What are you, big finger painting champion? Duck, duck, goose winner every day? Wow, look at that kid run. Skip him. How stupid do you feel, though, walking into grade 2? You just skipped grade 1. Everyone's looking at you, mocking you. Look, that's the kid right there. Skip grade 1. No, shut up. Heard he's really good at cooperating with others. Remember, I had to do the food groups project. Remember this waste of time? Did it every year. It's like every teacher assigned it. It's those teachers that had nothing to do. That was me. No lesson plans. I'd show movies when I taught. This is how selfish I was as a teacher. One year I was teaching geography, and I was showing Rudy, because I like that movie. Had nothing to do with the class. I'm like, this has nothing to do with geography. Happened in Indiana, okay? But what I would do is I had geography period 1 and geography period 2, the same grade. I would show period 1 the first half, and then I'd just keep it going the second half. They're like, what? Period 2 is like, why are we watching this in the middle? Well, I just saw the first half. I don't want to see it again. I remember doing the food groups, though, every year. So then I assigned it every year. That's how it works. I'm going to do what all my teachers did. But I remember being in grade 1, and we had to do this project. 6 years old, if you're going to do a project and they sign someone with you, you got to be supervised. You can't leave 2 6-year-old boys up in a room doing a project, because I don't know how we got to this, but we did our project. Nutrition. We couldn't spell. Nutrition. And you underline it. Double underline, double. Put a little R with the number. It's spelled wrong. Put an R, drop it in. Diary product. We couldn't spell. And then nutrition, underline, and then diary product. And then they post them in the halls for everyone to see. So your parents can come beat you up at parent-teacher night because they see you can't spell and you embarrass the family name. Because your name's this big on those posters. We go upstairs. This is a true story. I don't know what it means. I don't know how we came to this. We finished taping everything. His mom's picking him up in 2 hours. It takes 15 minutes. We're up in my room, 6 years old. I suggest we tape our penises together. And the thing that blows my mind, when I look back on that day, I can't help but think, what are the odds of finding a kid in the whole world to agree to this? I got the one kid in my room. And he wasn't like, he didn't question it. He was like, yeah. Like, it's like he was thinking it too. And that's the weird stuff you do. Joey, I'll never forget it. Joey and I are up there. Oh, this is gonna be fun. We stripped down. And we just did that. We taped our penises together, and we just stared at each other. We didn't know what to do. Completely naked, just standing there, thinking maybe this wasn't such a good idea. And then he says, I lost it when he said this. I ended up peeing all over him. And he wasn't trying to be funny, but we were 6 years old. We had just learned the alphabet. And he's staring and he says, he's all excited too, we made the letter H. And that was it. That was our project. I wasn't even a good student. I remember being in grade 6. That was my worst year. Couldn't read very well. And they made you read out loud. Remember that crap? Get rid of this reading out loud in schools. Nobody is listening to the kid that's reading. We're not following, we're doing the same thing. We all sat at our desks, terrified, counting people to see which paragraph we had. That's all you want to know. Which one do I got to read? Is it big? Is it a big one? I can line it up. Kid, before you go to the bathroom, you're like, oh, I'm screwing up the order. I don't have the same paragraph now. You always had that one kid, too. Every school had that one kid in grade 6 that was 7 reading years behind everybody. Remember this kid, Bruno? Couldn't go to recess till Bruno finished reading. I was like, what? My life was recess in grade 6. I was the first kid lined up. This is how I stood at the door. 2 minutes before the bell, just like this. Come on, let us go, let us go. This is... My buddies are behind me going, go get the field, Gerry, go get the field. Yeah, no kidding, idiot. Why do you think I'm in my fast position? This is, you think I stand like this all day? No, I don't stand like this all day. See the other kids getting out early, you're losing it. Miss, how come that class? Oh. Because we had to get the field. That's how guys lived. You had to get the field or the court. One kid was sent out to touch a pole. Sometimes I'd be on the wrong field, just holding the pole, no one showing up. That was my whole recess. Come on, where are these guys, man? I got the whole field to myself. You had to get the field or the court. Girls didn't care as much in grade 6. You could have fun with nothing. You could take a little corner of the field and find a rock, and you were, girls, a rock. Come on in, I'm gonna create a game. Everyone's welcome. There's no discriminating. No teams since someone's left alone. I'm gonna draw a box, and we're gonna stand in and out, and we'll dance in and out. It's called in and out. I just made it up, and this is our game. We'll be friends forever. I love it. What a great game. Not us. We had to fight. We couldn't go one day to recess because Bruno couldn't read. And then the bear licked the honey. I was like, are you kidding me? Why did this kid always yell? It took forever. And then, the BR. That doesn't sound right. Then he'd say the wrong word over and over again, the exact same way. It's like he wasn't even trying anymore. Like-a-da. The BR like-a-da. Can't get this. Like-a-da. Come on. Shut his eyes sometimes, like he was thinking harder. Like-a-da. No. You might want to look at the word. To make matters worse, he's the only kid in the class that wouldn't follow the paragraph with his finger. So he'd finally finish reading that sentence, and then he'd read it again. You're like, what the hell? I just heard this half an hour ago. But he'd read it like 2 different things happened. I didn't know what was going on. And then the BR, like the honey. What? And then the BR. Like the honey. What? My book doesn't say that. It was awful. I'm like, come on, Bruno, learn how to read, man. You're 17. It's ridiculous. Put your helmet back on. How come he gets a helmet, miss? Nobody told me why he wore a helmet. How come he gets a helmet? Gets to leave every day at 2 o'clock on his own bus? That's not fair. No one told me I'd show up the next day with the helmet on. Miss, it's 2 o'clock. Bruno and I gotta take off. Our bus is outside, yeah. Poor kid.
I hit a cop car with my car. I don't recommend doing that. I was driving home with my fiance. We were just a few blocks from home. We were passing by this cafe that I go to from time to time. I noticed it peripherally that they were open later than usual. So I turned my head like, oh, they're open later than usual. When I turned back, the words police were getting closer and closer. I rammed into the cop car's bumper, and my fiance, to her credit, didn't say anything, but I could just feel everything she was thinking. I was like, you're right. You're absolutely right about all of it. The cop car, we're at a light. The cop car turns off to a side street. So then I turn to my fiance, like, should we just get the hell out of here? Like, it's like, no, we can't do that. So then I turn and follow the cop and pull up behind him. Now all of a sudden it's like I'm pulling him over. It's like, maybe I work for the NYPD now. So then we're just sitting and waiting. Cop finally gets out, ambles over. First thing he says is, bad idea hitting a cop car. I was like, yeah, actually, it wasn't my idea. It just happened. Then he was kind of like pacing around. Like, remember when you were a kid and your parents were almost like searching for the punishment? They were beside themselves. So I'm waiting. Finally, he's like, fuck it, I don't want to deal with this. I was like, that was my solution. Then he goes, you were never here. Which I thought was almost existential. Like, are any of us ever really, truly here? Then he turns and walks back to his car. As he's about to get in, he turns back and says, oh, are you okay? I was like, yeah, we're fine. Are you okay? He's like, yeah. Gets into his car, drives away. I turn to my fiance and say, I don't know what these black folks are complaining about. That could not have been a more pleasant exchange. I felt safe, I felt protected, I felt like my life mattered.
Living in Philadelphia means I have mice in my home. It comes with the deed, and on the lease it's my wife and I and 17 mice. You're gonna roll your eyes at this, but my wife and I were animal lovers, so we don't have the traps that kill the mice. Thank you. But we have the traps that trap the mice, and then you drive them 7.5 miles away because apparently someone drove them 7 and they came back. One of the most degrading trial and error situations, I would imagine. So you rehome them. You rehome the mice. That's what you do. And it's weird. I've been working my entire life to become a professional stand-up comedian, and now it turns out I'm just an Uber for varmints. That's what I put on my taxes. Uber for varmints. I have 20,000 dependents spread throughout the city. They say it's the humane thing to do, though, not to kill them. What they don't tell you is how weird you look when you drive into a random neighborhood, get out of your car, and then just release mice into it. Be free! I did the other day while a school was getting out, and this little girl turns to her dad, and she goes, oh my God, Daddy, is that a wizard? Because no, he's more of a male witch if you get to know him, actually. That's more of his vibe. I've been going down to this place called the Jersey Shore a lot since I moved back to the East Coast. If you don't know what it is, it's like the beach where people from Philly and New York go. And there's a place in particular that I've been going. It's called Ocean City, New Jersey. And yes. And I've been going on, like, that's going to have to be cut out, what I just did. We can't have it. They blur it out, you know, it's so humiliating. Like, my apologies to the editor of this special. I apologize. So I've been going down to Ocean City, New Jersey a lot, and they had this issue where this is a real thing. seagulls were dive bombing people on the boardwalk, and they were knocking food out of their hands and knocking hats off ladies' heads. So the local government in Ocean City, New Jersey, their solution to this, after much deliberation, was to hire a birds of prey company to release hawks into the air to go to war with the seabirds? What the f***? That was your solution? And one of my favorite things to witness in life is this thing that I call the I f***ed up at work walk, where you messed up at your job and you have to tell your boss, and you're not going to get fired, but he's going to be a real piece of about it. So you're kind of just trudging, you know, you're bummed out. And I saw a guy doing that on the boardwalk, and I will paint a colorful description as to what this man looked like. In his one hand, he had a little hood. How little? You might be wondering. A hood so little it would fit perfectly on a hawk's head. And on his other hand, he had a big, scary, thick leather glove going up to his shoulder. And this next part, I feel like I actually don't have to say because you're probably already picturing it in your head, but just in case I'm missing some people, long gray ponytail down his back. You saw it? We saw it. We all saw it. And this guy's trudging. And he goes up to his boss, who looked exactly like him, except his long gray ponytail was like 6 inches longer, you know, to show rank. Excuse me. And our first guy, he goes up to his boss and goes, "I messed up!" And his boss goes, "What happened?" And he goes, "I lost the bird!" And his boss goes, "How do you lose a bird?" And I go, "May I interject?" It's a bird. I would imagine, is it the wings? Did it use its wings? Its God-given wings? Oh, okay, they flew away, you idiot. That's how. I'm not a business expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I would imagine part of the risk assessment when you open up a hawk company some of them are gonna fly away. They're gonna fly away. Hey, you lose a bird. Oh my God, it hit me over the head with a fish, stole my iPhone, hailed an Uber, and drove away.
But I don't judge my life based on material possessions, mainly because I don't really have access to them. I judge my life based on achievements and milestones. Like, I don't mean to brag, but a little while ago, I hit the big time. I married an American, which is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me, according to Americans. They are so excited for me. Like, wow, you married an American. Your parents must be so proud. I'm like, they're a little concerned. They're worried about me. No, you could be an American now. Don't you want to be an American? Pew, pew, pew. I'm like, calm down. Okay, I don't have the confidence to be an American. I'm not qualified. Americans are confident people. Like, I was in America and I wanted to go to some fine dining restaurant, so I turned up at Pizza Hut. And a guy was coming outside and he held the door open for me. He said, "After you, big dog." I'm 5'7". I've never been called big dog in my life. I'm like, "Me?" He's like, "Yeah, come on through, big dog." I'm like, "Stop it. No, it's not me. I'm a little dog. Stop it. Get out of here. I'm not even a big, I don't even have a tail. Stop it." He's like, "Come on through," and he gave me a fist bump. And that confidence was contagious. All of a sudden, I felt that American confidence, and I felt 6 foot tall. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I am a big dog. I felt so confident. I walked into that Pizza Hut. I bought a family meal. That's how excited I was. My father-in-law was so pumped for me when I married his daughter. As a wedding gift, he bought me a Costco membership. That's a dowry in the state of Kentucky. That is, it's like, that's a Costco membership. You can go to any Costco around the world. I'm like, why would I go to Costco when I'm overseas? You can get the best bagels in Costco. You gotta buy 3,000, but they're the best bagels. You can get the best red wine from Italy in Costco. It's from a region in Italy called Kirkland. Kirkland, Italy. Best Italian wines. You can get a coffin in Costco. When I die, I want you to put me in that coffin, leave me in Costco, because that's my idea of heaven, amen. I'm like, mate, wait till you discover LD. You're gonna have a great time. No membership needed.
This is before I started pretending to be corporations. One day I was on a Facebook page called Warburton Farms, and they had pictures of cows. So I wrote to them and I asked if they host cow milkings. And they said, no, we don't have any dairy cows, only beef cows. I said, so the cows don't have milk? They said, yes, cows are mammals, so they have milk, but we do not milk them. And then my friend Phil commented, and he said, they just kill them. And it got 1 like. I was like, I wonder who liked that. It was Warburton Farms. What do you think about that one? That's a strange one, isn't it? It's an old classic. It's an old classic. So I had a City of Atlanta Facebook page for several years, and during having this Facebook page, the Super Bowl came to Atlanta. And during the Super Bowl, Pepsi was advertising all over Atlanta, which is weird because Atlanta is the home of Coca-Cola. It was invented there, and they have a museum about it. And so I said, we're working with officials to have these signs removed. Pepsi has no place in Atlanta. And someone messaged the page, said, ever heard of the First Amendment or maybe even capitalism, Atlanta? You may believe Coke is better, but Pepsi has every right to advertise in your arrogant city. We do not negotiate with terrorists. I used to live in Los Angeles, too. I had a City of Los Angeles Facebook page. I had that for a while. I was there during the beginning of the pandemic when everyone stayed at home, and so the roads emptied out. And then people in LA were flying down the empty streets. So I said, we understand you're enjoying the empty roads, but we need you to slow the down. Melissa's like, somebody's getting fired. Probably not. Does the city handbook allow for city employees to use profanity? Hell yeah. Keep those city ones in there? All right, all right.
#1 show on TV 6 years in a row was Man vs. Food. Yeah, they're doing it again. They got a new guy because the first one exploded or whatever. We don't need to do that show again. I learned everything I was supposed to learn the first time around. I watched that show as if it were a documentary meant to show America what will happen to your body if you eat unhealthy every day for 6 years. If you watch it like that, it works. You could leave here tonight. Go to YouTube. Do a search for Man vs. Food. Watch a clip from season 1, then immediately watch a clip from season 6. You'll notice a difference right away. That guy was way skinnier when he started, and he had an amazing vocabulary. Where'd that go? Watch season 1. He's very articulate. He's like, folks, there is a symphony of flavor going on in my mouth right now. When I bit down, I got heat from the peppers, I got sweet from the relish, little salt from the bacon. This place, they've done it, I'll tell you. They have made perfect harmony in the form of a sandwich. And then 6 years later, he's like, this is yummy. This is really good. It's too easy to eat terrible. It's everywhere, and I fall for it. I see some gimmick food, they're like, this is the most calories ever. And I'm like, I gotta try that. Wendy's has a sandwich called Son of Baconator. Their food is making babies when they're closed to sell the next day. Little sandwich children.
This is what's gonna happen, okay? We're just telling jokes. They're just jokes, okay? It's just comedy. Look, the word's right there, comedy, okay? Just let's all remember that. No one's allowed to get offended. A lot of people are getting offended very easily these days. And then everyone's just worried about saying the wrong thing. And I know that you are, because you do the same thing that I do. If you're driving along in your car and you've got passengers in your car and you answer a phone call and it goes on speakerphone, the first thing you say is, just letting you know that you're on speaker and there's other people in the car. You may as well say, don't talk about the shit we usually talk about. There's other people here. They won't get our humour, they'll judge us. Everyone's terrified of offending. You can't offend Australians, you can't. You tried. You tried with Outback Steakhouse, you tried. You, America, how dare you? How dare you? Just a fabrication franchise throughout your entire country. That's a complete mockery of my whole culture. And you guys are totally fine with that. Are you totally fine? What the f*** is a bloomin' onion? I've never heard of that in my life. It's a staple dish in this establishment. You all know it. It's a deep fried onion the size of a football. It's what they eat. It's what they eat down under, you know? We don't call it down under either, by the way. We're there. We're there. We don't call you up over or whatever you are. I'm not offended by Outback Steakhouse. I think it's hilarious. I don't care.
There's also people out there that review cat food. Here's the kicker. In character as their cat. Like, if you look it up, you can look it up when you get home, like Fancy Feast website. There's like reviews and they're like, every morning I go over to my bowl and I'm so excited to eat my Fancy Feast. It's and I assume they're writing it in character as their cat. Otherwise, Fluffy is a weird woman.
My entourage, my grandma and her friends, yeah, they're in their 90s, dude. You don't feel old around them. Like when I turned 40, I had a panic attack. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it, I'm 40. Around them, they're like, what? What? You're just a child. You're still a child. And I'm like, yeah, I'm still a child. But I feel bad for them because they don't have that in their life. Like when they turn 90, they don't have anybody making them feel better. Like they don't have a friend that's like 150 to tell them that, you know what I mean? When they're like, I can't believe it. I am 90. They don't have a 150-year-old friend like,
clap if you have kids. Okay, now clap if you don't have kids. Okay, you don't have to celebrate that you don't have kids. I just wanted to know how many people didn't have kids. You don't have to. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's a lot of fun tonight, but you're gonna die alone. But no, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Whatever. Like, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. No, we already blew it. But no, I have a 5-year-old, and he's great. But he's in that age. He have a lot of energy, and kids of that age, there's two ways to stop them. You know, morphine or the phone. You know, and you know that the phone is bad for them. You know that it's poison for their brains, but it's so effective. You know that if you give a kid a phone and you, I don't know, take a walk for 3 days. And you come back, he's gonna be in the same spot. And he's probably gonna learn how to fish or something, you know? But I know that it's bad for him. I know, but at the same time, you have to find a balance in life, you know? You know that every minute I have the phone, he's getting dumber and dumber, but you have to be okay with it, you know? It's like, well, he's not gonna learn math, but I'm gonna finish this movie. You can't have everything in life, you know? I don't like to give him the phone, but sometimes we have done it. We were at a restaurant the other night, and we were like, okay, 5 minutes. You can have the phone for 5 minutes. And of course, they go to the darkest places on the internet right away. I don't know how they do it, but you're like, okay, you can watch 5 minutes of Baby Shark. A minute later, he's watching a shark eating a baby. I don't know how. I was like, okay, let's try to have a conversation. Let's try to pretend we still love each other while he's checking this video. And a little lady from another table just came running. She's like, beep, 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 and sit down right next to my boy and start watching this video. And her mom just came running, like very angry. She came running, just grabbed the girl, and she's like, no, we don't do that. And we're like, what the f*** is wrong with this woman? I know what we're doing is wrong, but like, don't say it out loud, you know? Don't judge your style of parenting in a restaurant, mother. Like, and I looked at this woman's face, and she was like the Oscar-winning actress Anne Hathaway. And I was like, calm down. It's not the movie The Princess Diary. Of course, I didn't say that. I was like, thank you for looking me in the eye. Please insult me more. So stupid. I think kids of that age, they're so weird because they don't share any information about what's going on in their lives. You know, like in school specifically. Like every time I pick up my son from school, I'm like, hey, how was your day? And he's like, I don't remember. And it's like, how? I mean, you should remember everything. You're a kid. I just pick you up, and your brain is new. You have so much storage in your brain. But he's like, I don't remember. But the weirdest thing is, like, 3 hours later, he shared a piece of information about his day with no context. You know, we're doing something else. I don't know, we're having dinner. And he's suddenly like, Ryan cried. And it's like, what happened to Ryan? And he's like, I don't remember. So we think he killed Ryan. I think he's in a cult. That's all. That's what he's not sharing.
I grew up speaking Finnish. It's very, very common in Finland. And I did learn English back then. I learned English. They teach English there, but when I moved here, I learned that it's not the same English that you have. The English here, it's different. I think the biggest difference is there's so many of these things here in America. These, when you shorten a thing, but you shorten a thing down to just a few letters. I think it's called acronym. Like there's so many of those, like FBI, YMCA, KFC, like so many of those. And I've noticed that people here seem to assume that every single person knows the meaning of every single one of these acronyms. Even people who moved here like 4 hours ago. From day one I moved here, people just say to me things like, yeah, I'm going through TSA at JFK. You want a PBJ? I have a PhD and I take CBD for my ADD. And I'm like, what the hell are you saying? What is this English? I thought I know this language. Because they teach English in school in Finland, but they mostly teach words. Remember those? I know so many words, but not these acronym things. Because even official papers here assume that you know these things. I moved here, I had to fill out a form. First line on that form, D-O-B. No explanation. Just D-O-B, empty space. Now I know it's date of birth, but back then I was like, this could be anything. Dead on the beach. No. Then I did my first show at a comedy club in America, and the club said that, hey, you have to fill out a W-9. And I was like, what is that? And he said, it's a form for the IRS. Well, what is that? And then he said, you shouldn't say that. Don't say that. You should say WTF. And I was like, what is that? Because back home in Finland, we just don't use these acronyms that much. Like, now we have a little bit more, but when I was growing up there, we had 2. We had only 2. UFO, HIV. The only 2. And I don't think we even realized that they were shortened from something. Like, we didn't pronounce them like UFO. We just said UFO. And we still say it like that. We still do it. It's faster. But here it's everywhere, and people assume that. Turns out, even in Canada, I went to Vancouver, Canada, first time ever. Immediately when I arrived there, people asked me that, hey, have you ever before done a show in BC? And I was like, you mean more than 2,000 years ago? I don't think so, no. I was so young. But BC, that means British Columbia in Canada. It's a province. I didn't know that. Also, first ever time I went to Michigan. I went to Detroit, Michigan. Never been to Michigan. And immediately when I got there, people were like, hey, have you been to UP? You have to go to UP. Yeah, UP. And now I know it means Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I know that now. But how the could I have known that back then? Like, how did you don't know that? Nobody in Finland, 0 people know that. Nobody would know that. But they just assumed. They were like, UP. I was like, yeah, and I also poo. I think it can even be dangerous to assume that everybody knows all these acronyms. Like this one guy was yelling. He was yelling like, help! I need CPR. Well, I have no idea what that means. So he didn't make it. So it's dangerous. But don't worry. I am determined to learn all the acronyms. I have to, because I live here. I live in the land of acronyms. This is the land of acronyms. Even the name of this country. That's the first hint. There will be more. Even the name, USA. I've actually noticed most people in the USA almost never say USA. Most times you say US. It's just US. Like, who has time to say the A? Even the acronym was too long for you. But I am I am learning. I learn many of them now. Like just yesterday, I had a WHO. No, you know that? No. Now you know how I feel. I made it up. That's how I feel every day here. But I'm learning, and I figured the best way to remember all these acronyms is a little song. So I made this little song. It's the acronym song. I took the melody from another song. You might recognize it. It's a song that has lots of letters in it. It's the alphabet song. Okay. But I modified it. Okay. A, B, C, NBC, HBO, MTV, PTSD from DMV, DUI with SUV, IBS, OCD, FYI, STD.
I recently achieved the dream of every middle-class person. I had a bit of work done on the house. Had a new kitchen put in. I stress, we're not wealthy, but we came into some money on the death of an elderly relative upon which I had bet heavily. Come on, Uncle Oscar, Daddy needs a kitchen island. So we got this work done, and I don't know if there are any men in the audience who are man enough to admit that when you meet a proper man, you go a bit funny, right? Like if you see, walking down the street, if you see a guy who's like wearing overalls, he's got paint all over them, and you see him and you go, there goes a proper man, and you go a bit limp, you know, oh, he's proper. All it really means, of course, is that he's not that good at painting. And what happens, and I don't want to do this happens despite my best endeavours, I open the door to them and I do a bit of a voice, right? I don't know what it is. These guys turn up, I'm like, all right, let's wait. Like, where is that coming from? What is that? I'm going, all right, a cup of tea, cheeky Stella, all right, lovely. I think on some level I'm trying to sort of leverage a friendship with them in order to create the possibility of the discount for cash. Don't know if anyone's ever pulled that off. All right, lads, cup of tea, discount for cash. What that is, I'll give you the cash, you knock the VAT off, everybody's laughing, apart from obviously the schools and the hospitals. Anyway, and they must know. They must know, right? When I turn up like this, they must go around the corner and go, he's rather patronising, isn't he? Yes, he is. He is condescending to us, talking down to us, isn't he? Yes, yes, he's trying rather hard. That's what she said, careful. And we tried to do the whole job in a week, right? They wanted to get it done in a week. So at one point, they were all in the living room. Now, our living room is underneath our kitchen with this little squeezy house on a hill. And all 5 of them were downstairs in the living room having a chat, right? So there was a Chippy, a Sparky. You've got another lingo. There was whatever the a plumber is. Cheeky Dolphin. I don't know. Splash Harry. And a Bender? That's unlikely, I think. And a Gaffer and a Spaffer, which is my word for a plasterer. I've made that up myself. You're welcome. Spaff, spaff, spaff. It's harder than it looks. So all 5 of them were in there, and I went in to offer them a coffee, right? And I panicked, because I didn't know how to address them together. And I walked in, and I went, all right, men. I don't know why I said that. I think I was going to go for lads, and then I bailed out halfway through the sentence. I turned up, men, as if I'm the brigadier at the back of the battlefield on a white horse. And I'm expecting you, obviously, to die tomorrow in your hundreds of thousands. But for now, can I offer you a coffee? So they all said yes. So 2 minutes later, I'm standing upstairs in the kitchen, at the worktop, in front of a coffee pod machine I already feel bloody guilty about. And I've got 5 pods on the worktop in front of me, thinking, am I really going to chuck 5 pods at these bastards, right? What if they want another coffee later on? They're here all week. This is going to bankrupt me, right? I'm going to have to kill another relative. They're not the usual pods, is my point. They're from a special collection called simply Regime. And And so I've got the 5. I scoot them up. I've got 5 pods in one hand. I've got a jar of dirty instant coffee in the other hand. And I'm looking from one to the other, trying to make my mind up. When I look up, and one of the builders is standing on a ladder looking in through the kitchen window. There is no other thought I could possibly have been contemplating. I ended up having to do a sort of extended improvised act out to my wife, who was not in the building, saying to her out loud, "Oh, all right, darling, what have you done there? What are you doing getting this instant muck? Nothing but the best for my boys." I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I saw a Gen Z girl get into a minor fender bender car accident with an older lady, and they both rolled down their window, and the first thing the Gen Z girl says is, "Honestly, we did not slay this," she said. And I was like, okay, I love you guys. That's the hardest shit I ever heard somebody say after a car accident. Honestly, we did not slay this. Is that what you tell Geico? Is that what you tell insurance? Hey, it says Geico, what happened? I can tell you what did not happen. We did not slay, mama. Okay, do you want us to send someone? Is the car total? No, the car is total, but the vibes remain immaculate.
I can't tell ages anymore. I really can't. Like, I have friends in their early 20s, and I also have a puppy. And I can't tell them apart. Right? All I see are these energetic beings running around trying to show strangers their tummies. Right? Either way, they're not allowed on the couch, so... Look, I know, it's tough to tell what age I am, because puberty let me down. I can't wear a backpack. In public. People think I'm running away from home. I know some of you are like, I don't know, that hairline's moving up. And it's like, well, I make the barber do that. Make them do it. Go in, they're like, where do you want your hairline? Where it naturally is? Here? I'm like, no, I want to be relatable. I try to take care of myself, I try to take care of my skin, but I got a sunburn recently, which is so frustrating, right? I mean, as a white person, right? Because we hate accountability. But for a week, I had to be like, okay, this is my fault. Everything else, no. How you look's important, I mean, people love to tell me what I look like a lot because of the mirror shortage. And I got a fun one recently, actually. I was just walking around in New York, and a man saw me, and he just said, "Not another Spider-Man." Right, I had to be like, no promises, It's actually kind of hard for me not to be Spider-Man. The one that I get most of the time, though, that people say to me is they'll be like, you know what? Man, you look like you could be from right out of the 50s. Yeah, it's like, because I'm a person? And there were people in the 50s? Anyone could be from the 50s. I feel like what people say is like, yeah, but you look like you would have enjoyed the 50s. Like, inadvertently, I feel like people are saying, like, your face reminds me of the patriarchy at its best, all right? Because you got that face of white privilege, but before white guilt, so there's no wrinkles. Let's see, my parents had kids. Yeah, a couple of us, that's good. It was just me and my older sister, right? And I obviously have an older sister. That's why I dress nice and believe in myself. Right? Like, I didn't have an older brother, I'd be dead. You ever heard a younger sibling talk about how they were treated by their older brother? It's horrifying. I'll be talking to my buddy, I'll be like, my older sister and I, we used to play house. My buddy will be like, my older brother and I, we used to play, he left me in the washing machine. For 3 days. And it's like, they're so gaslit, they don't even know that that's wrong. So I'll be like, I'm so sorry, and they're like, no, you don't get it. It was a delicate cycle. And he used fabric softener, so actually I thank him. I thank him for what he did, actually. My brother works in finance now. Can you believe it? It's like, yeah. I can. It's annoying to be the younger sibling in general. It's very annoying because families assign roles on a first come, first served basis. So if you're the youngest, you just get whatever's left. Right? Like my sister got car sick, so I couldn't. Like I did, I just like wasn't allowed. My parents were like, you can't be car sick, but here's what you can be, accommodating. And I really am, you know? Excuse me. No, you go. There's a lot to accommodate in my family, too. A very anxious group, you know? My first hand-me-down was actually a Xanax prescription. And yeah, the dosage was a little big, but I grew into it, you know? No problem. We all had our own little, like, flavor of mental disorder. Our own little twist. Like, my mom had social anxiety, my sister had general anxiety, and my dad was an optimist. And yeah, so you've heard of this? I mean, it's such a cruel disorder, right? And there's no known cure, right? Except for paying attention, even a little bit. But blinders on for my guy. And my particular disorder was OCD. It was obsessive compulsive disorder. Me too? Okay. So if one person's gonna say, me too, actually we all gotta do it. At the same time. So, and we're recording this, so get it right. No, my OCD, it wasn't about like, Okay, so if somebody's gonna laugh, everybody has to laugh at the same time. My OCD wasn't about like cleanliness or organization, which is like pretty common, but I was just addicted to these little rituals that I thought prevented bad things from happening. So it's like, I wasn't washing my hands all the time, but I was like, I'm gonna touch this doorknob 8 times. Now the dog won't die. No, and I know that sounds weird, but I need you to know that our family dog is 42 years old. A homeowner, actually. They're doing great. I'm really proud of them. I got my OCD under control now, which is good, but my family's always like very concerned that it's gonna come back. So like any repeated gesture I do, very scary. So my sister will be like, hey Lucas, I just noticed you're taking multiple sips of water. And that's totally okay, but I did want to check. Is that your OCD? Because I saw you always look both ways before you cross the street. And that's okay, but I did want to check. Is that your OCD? Because I know you told me you always put your pants on, one leg at a time. And that's totally okay, but I did want to check. Is that your OCD? It's like, no. That's how people put on pants. So yeah, I put them on one leg at a time. It's so stupid. And I always go left leg and then right leg to make sure North Korea never develops long-range nuclear missiles. But she doesn't need to know that. I think I'm all set on family. I think I'm all good. I'm done. Family is my least favorite group project. Because it's like in school, there's always somebody who has to do the majority of the work, right? And it's never the dad. It's never the dad. It's not the dad. Everyone I know was raised by their mom and executive produced by their dad. Right? You need him to get the project made, but he isn't like in the editing bay. He's just showing up like, this is all my money's getting. So. I've been working on my relationship with my executive producer. And we had a breakthrough recently. He texted me, my dad texted me, and the text just said, I trust you're doing well. And I was like, I guess my dad and I dated. We split up, it wasn't mutual, but it makes sense why we've been like this. I don't blame my dad, by the way, for us being a little distant. I was kind of a weird kid, you know? Like my favorite thing to do in the summer when I was 10 was watch The Price is Right. Yeah, great show, right? I mean, but also I thought it was helping my relationship with my dad. Because he was always like, you don't know the value of $1. I was like, oh yeah? I bet you don't know the value of this brand new jet ski. Ah, come on down. Excuse me. How fun. This is so nice. For some amount of time, I haven't checked my phone. And I love that. Isn't that nice? I haven't looked at my phone this whole time. We're on our phones so much. We're addicted, right? I mean, I just said phone, and a small part of all of your brain was like, oh yeah, my phone. I wonder what it's doing. Does it miss me too? It's like, we're on our screen so much, I'm worried that I'll have a kid and they'll like make eye contact with someone and I'll have to apologize. I'll be like, I'm so sorry, he's an old soul. He was just diagnosed with attention span. I don't. I don't like big tech. This is why I don't like big tech. I don't like them. I also don't like that they call themselves big tech. Right? It kind of sounds like they made up their own nickname. Like they switched high schools. They wanted to seem cool. Like we're doing roll call for American Industries, and we're like, okay, oil and gas, and they're like, here. I'm like, okay. Technology? They're like, it's tech. It's actually big tech. It's actually big tech has a girlfriend. It's big tech has 2 girlfriends, but we don't use labels. It's big tech. Tech is big and the big is tech. So tech, big, tech. Okay, great. We got it. All right, and before we get started, is manufacturing here? And then the class is like, they moved.
Got an Uber today, got in the car. First thing the guy says to me is like, do you mind if I talk to a friend? And I'm a normal guy, right? So I said, of course. And thank you for considering me a friend. We had the best conversation. It was so good. He was speaking Urdu, and I responded in English. It was a beautiful cultural exchange. He kept doing this. I'm like, that must be a cultural gesture. So I did this. Thank you. But no, I'm good. I've been doing well. I've been cooking a lot. So good. I learned to cook online, right? But I think it's so special that recipes that used to be passed down from generation to generation. I think that's so special. So I got to tell my kids that my grandfather passed me down Jamie Oliver's superfood pasta. Tell them that Jamie Oliver's a province in China. We're from the Jamie people. I've been cooking, I've been eating at other people's houses, diversify the portfolio, you know. I was at a friend's house eating dinner and he cooked this lamb shoulder and it took him 2 days to cook this lamb shoulder and he was bragging about it. I didn't even know that was something you could brag about, like the amount of time it took you to prepare the meal. But I found it to be quite a good excuse to serve my guests leftovers. Oh, this is a 24-hour stir fry. This pizza's been dry aged for 7 days. Good stuff. I love food. I am a foodie. Guilty. Love food. I love coffee as well. Big coffee head. A couple of fans of coffee. Nice. I love coffee, but I reckon coffee culture's gone nuts. You know what I mean? Like, it's gone too far. Because there's coffee places everywhere. Like, I saw a coffee place in a rock climbing gym. Oh, surely that's too far. Yeah. There's a coffee place at my local library. I saw a woman order a triple shot latte. I'm like, what book are you trying to read? Must be pretty tough. Anyway, I was getting a coffee from my mechanics, and mechanics are like the last profession that there's no regular retail price, right? There's no sign behind them telling you how much it's going to cost. You can't just Google how much a service is, right? It's just numbers swirling around in their minds. Only they know on any given day how much they're going to fleece you. I don't know if you can tell this just by looking at me, but I'm not a pushover. That's not a funny bit. Got a great deal out of this guy. 2 tyres, $7,000. So. He did upsell me though. I reckon he upsold me. I don't think I needed the second tyre. I just went in for a latte. This mechanic, he kept saying the word roughly, right? He's like, it's roughly quite a big job. It's roughly going to take 1 to 2 days. Like, he kept saying the word roughly, and he got so in the habit of saying it that he started saying it when he was asking for my details. He was like, roughly, what's your phone number? I'm like, if you want a ballpark, it's about $500 million. Coffee's too strong. This stuff, it's too strong. I mean, I remember back in the day, coffee used to be nice. You could drink coffee in the morning and go to sleep the same night. Like, you could even drink it at night time. Like, you could whip up a Blend 43, watch a couple of episodes, and then sink into the night, you know? Nowadays, I have a sip of coffee and I get anxiety and diarrhea. I see my barista and my guts flinch. Having a panic attack in the coffee store, I don't know. There's no drink that's as relaxing as coffee gets you G'd up. Someone's trying to tell me that it was chamomile tea, but chamomile tea sucks. Chamomile tea tastes like if water got wet. I don't know, maybe I'm being harsh. I like the scent of it. I've been using this new chamomile shampoo. Relaxing chamomile flavour. It's good stuff. I was using it for the first time. It's going so well. But then a bit of it got into my eye. And it stung a lot. But I was calm throughout the whole thing. I was like... I don't know, I don't understand it, because people ask me to meet for a coffee. They're like, let's go meet for a coffee. I don't understand that, because what I'm hearing is, let's go do a poo-poo. You know what I mean? It's a 1-hour meeting. We've only got a half an hour of face-to-face time. We're both paying in the toilets for 15 minutes each. All right, I don't know about that one. There was a big foodie during lockdown. Gained quite a bit of weight. At the end of lockdown, I had to go to the doctors for something else, hemorrhoids. And but at the end of the meeting, he gave me quite a stern warning. He's like, "I'm sorry, but you have to lose 5 kilos if you want to look hot." He said that, and I was trying to figure out how to lose the weight. I was like going on YouTube, and there's all these different ideas about weight loss, and I couldn't like figure out what the correct one was, because everyone's like arguing with everyone. And I found this one guy, he's called Carnivore MD, and his whole thing is a meat-only diet. But he reckons it's true because he's lived as a raw vegan for 8 years before that. So in his lifetime, he's had a balanced diet. But it's like, I don't know who to trust. I had to get a personal trainer, and this personal trainer was like, you gotta put down your body goals. You gotta dream big. He's like, think big. What are your body goals? And I was like, I would love to gain 2 foot. My dream to be 5'5". I'm good. I'm doing well. It's New Year, new me. It's Chinese New Year. You don't hear about a lot of Chinese New Year resolutions. Hey? Like, I'm gonna set off more firecrackers this year. As Chinese New Year just passed, Year of the Tiger. I like the zodiacs in the Chinese New Year. You know how they have all those different zodiacs? Anyone celebrate Chinese New Year? Oh, you do? Are you Chinese or other? Other. Welcome. fucking about. I like the zodiacs, but I think some of them, they sound quite offensive in the Western context. Like, I remember when my dad was introducing, like, our family to other people, and he'd tell other people our zodiacs. It sounds so rude. He'd be like, my wife's a pig. My daughter's a dog. And my son's a rat, you know? Anyway, they're all born in the year of the horse, so... It was meant to be a good year, the year of the tiger. It was meant to be a hot one. It was not off to a good start for me. Off to a terrible start, actually. First day of the year of the tiger, I walked back into my house and I caught my housemate washing her dog with my shampoo. I couldn't believe it. It was this relaxing chamomile stuff. It was good stuff. It was expensive. Like, it's the best one at the 7-Eleven. And on the side of the label, it was like vegan, organic, no animal testing. I had to call them up. I'm like, it's been tested. He really likes it, you know? He used so much of the shampoo, this guy, you know? I don't know if you know this, but dogs, they got a lot of hair. If you don't believe me, think about this. They got bodies. They don't use body wash. It's all shampoo, you know? You'd be wasting your time making a body wash for dogs. They only service this section. You know how they got that shaved bit? Some of you don't know about dog anatomy, but